we are live. Welcome. I'm going to turn off this music for a moment. Welcome to our this newest video. No, you are not seeing double. This is literally a color swap of last week's stream because it's a part 2, something I rarely ever do on these things. So, welcome. Unfortunately, Madeline isn't here yet because I don't know why. She's just not here yet. But we have Krim, so it all works out.
Hello.
Everything is. How you doing, Krim?
I'm doing okay. I've been streaming myself for the last 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, so then you're kind of worn out then. Hopefully this isn't too much.
No.
No.
I was playing Sims. I was having a grand old time.
Oh hell yeah, love it. That's great. No, this week has been a lot. I've been trying to rest more than usual. Like we just filmed this Friday's video last night. I've been trying to rest more. I don't know. Trying is the key operative word.
But you keep on doing things like, I'm going to take it easy this week, and then you're just like, anyway, here's this 3-hour video that I made in 3 days.
Yeah!
And it's like, Anthony, that's not resting!
In fairness, you're entirely correct. That is not resting. But... But in fairness, what I'm doing is less work technically than the Musk video. Which...
That's just your... See, I know you're Catholic, but that's just like such a Protestant thing to do, is to just create something you absolutely hate to punish yourself.
That's also a Catholic thing. That's Catholic self-flagellation and all that.
Self-flagellation rather than the Protestant work ethic. I see it.
Hello there.
Cousins, but not the same
Madeline's
thing.
back. Cool.
Sorry,
you put on
about
screen.
That. I was installing a new wireless router.
A likely story.
Okay. Why would I make that?
I'm just messing with you. Oh my goodness. No, but it's been I was just saying, and in fact what's funny is you two are both in this Friday's video, which is going to be along with frequent collaborator Kyla T. We do have a new member, Nerdy Tiffany. Thank you for joining. I don't know. I was trying to say Typhlosion.
Oh, we're live right now, aren't we? Okay.
Oh, you didn't realize that?
No, I don't.
It's a good thing you didn't say anything
you probably
personal.
Shouldn't have said your social insurance number.
Yeah, that was weird. How you just said, "Hi, my name's Madeline May. My credit card number is." That's a weird sound test you did there, but anyway.
Oh man, good thing I waited to say all of those horribly offensive slurs.
Oh God.
Yeah, wait until we're live for that. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't do it in private. Do it publicly where everyone can hear you.
Because I'm not afraid. I'm not a coward.
There we go. Jack Sheehy, thank you for Super Chat. I feel fatigue with Marvel when some of the shows/movies began to dip in terms of the characters and story. But I'm hopeful Fantastic Four will get me back on. I'm hopeful the Thunderbolts gets you back on. Honestly, that one looks a lot of fun too.
Listen, every fucking time a new Fantastic Four movie is coming out, you bitches are all like, it's gonna be different this time, and it's never fucking different.
Well, in fairness,
you guys have Stockholm syndrome.
No, Krim, it's different every time because it's somehow worse every time.
Yeah, there's never been a bad Fantastic Four movie,
Wait,
so
what?
I'm excited.
What?
That's bold.
That is a bold statement, Madeline.
They've all been good. Every single one.
Controversial statement. The best Fantastic Four movie is the 94 version that never officially came out.
That is correct. That is probably correct, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched
Absolutely.
like a word print version of it where it was like really like the version that leaked online where the effects are unfinished and they clearly needed to ADR Dr. Doom because all of his voice lines sound muffled to hell and back.
Right.
It is such a good movie. Yep.
Can I say something controversial? Perhaps a little risque?
You're going to anyway, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I absolutely am. I think that Fantastic Four would be better if Johnny Storm had gay sex.
With Peter Parker?
I said it.
with Peter Parker?
I mean, yeah, ideally, but like I realize that there's
It's
like
the thing.
the whole like Peter Parker can't be gay or Marvel will just explode.
Well, I mean,
but-
I had a whole video on that one.
Yeah, go
write-
watch that video, guys.
You write one article back in 2020 about Peter Parker maybe not being heterosexual, and all of a sudden the internet breaks down. It's ridiculous.
The internet's so cool and welcoming, you all. You guys, it's so nice to be different on the internet.
Isn't it great?
I love being opinionated on the internet. It's my favorite.
Right. Oh, agreed. Speaking of people who are opinionated on the internet, though, I think I should just mention this in passing because my channel was almost mass reported to hell this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
I was at the grocery store getting eggs, and people tagged me on my Discord. By the way, if you want to join my Discord, you can become a member of the channel, and I can post the link after the stream's done. I was getting notified on Discord saying, "Hey, Lily Orchard is sending all of her followers to mass report your channel to oblivion." And
Lily Orchard is sending over 9,000 followers to destroy your channel. That's so cool.
Technically, she has more followers than I do, but 1,000 less than she did on Sunday.
Oh no! R.I.P.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Excuse me.
It's all good.
How
Yeah,
transphobic of you to not let a trans woman tear down your channel
Did you
and take
oh,
your
I mean-
livelihood?
Yeah.
I mean, like my recent kerfuffle with her is even stupider than that.
Oh God, you gotta tell us one.
So back in the summertime, Lily Orchard decided to go on a quote unquote hike on what is essentially a flat walking trail with crushed gravel. You know, it's not really a hike, but you know, it's a 3 to 4 kilometer hike. No, not 3 to 4. Sorry, 3 to 4 miles, I think.
Okay, so that's roughly like 6 kilometers.
It's I'm sorry. It's okay. No, that's definitely longer than that. It's a 13-kilometer hike. And I think
yeah.
it's a 13-kilometer hike, and it takes about 4 hours for a hobbyist hiker. And I say hike, but it's crushed gravel, very flat. It was a walk.
that's
It's a walk
7
that's
miles,
supposed
roughly.
that takes most people 4 hours. It took her more than half a day, so 12 to 13 hours. And she didn't bring sunscreen. She didn't bring water, and she didn't bring food. She didn't bring protective clothing. And then a few days ago, she's like, "I'm gonna go. My next hike is gonna be a winter hike." And for those of you that don't know, I live a 10-minute drive away from Lily Orchard, and I've lived here my entire life. I've been working in rec therapy for the past few years, and have worked. This is the first winter that I haven't worked actually in 3 years as well, outside, like in the outdoors doing rec therapy and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hiking professionally and as a hobby since I was very young. I have like wilderness CPR and like first aid and like training to, you know, like this is what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't do that, Lily. You will either die or like get frostbite or hypothermia. Like I've had a friend die to exposure in Nova Scotia in weather that's been warmer than this. Yeah, it was very traumatizing. I think that's the reason I got so worked up, because I was just thinking of him.
Yeah,
And-
understandable.
And I was called I was mansplaining. I was called a
How
turf.
affirming.
I was called. I don't find that affirming, honestly. But that's like a whole other conversation.
It's a joke. I hate when people do the same thing.
It's called malgendering, actually, when people use like an insult against your gender that's quote unquote gender affirming.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like I was called all these names, like, and it's like I feel like Lily would freeze her ass off like freeze her nose off of her face just to spite me, you know? And her fans would cheer her on the whole time, and it's like, why don't you guys care?
Yeah, at a certain point, you kind of like, you know what? Let them. Let her.
Look, I'm not. I still would rather her not do that. But like, even if she's stubborn, you'd think her fans would be like, "No, don't do it, Lily. You could get hurt." Like, you know what I mean? But like, no, they're like, "You're mansplaining. You're an asshole. You're the worst." And it's like, fucking, you're just cheering her on to go get hurt. But okay, whatever. Like, I said what I can. I did what I could.
And you know she's gonna complain if she gets like a slight bruise on her like leg for like a year.
Aww.
My prediction is she's gonna like step in a puddle, her foot's gonna get wet, and she's gonna turn around and go home immediately and like do this whole like pantomime about how she almost lost her foot to frostbite. That's my prediction. I hope that's all that happens.
This sounds like that. This sounds like that guy on Tumblr that started a cult twice.
Wait, what?
And did like a full hiking expedition for like I saw a strange Aeons video about it. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah. I don't know. People just want to go hiking and be in cults, I guess.
There you go.
I mean, I love hiking. I work outdoors.
Aww.
I work in rec therapy. It's something I like doing. It's just, there's a reason why almost all the rec centers in Halifax and Nova Scotia are closed in the winter. The outdoor ones, anyway.
Oy vey. No, Lily is ridiculous. And, like, you would think that she would at least listen to someone who has experience in that. But no, she won't. What are you talking about? And, yeah, there's a few super chats I want to read before we keep going. Though I do want to bring up Lily one more time briefly because I think it's a funny story.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to the Lily stream, everyone.
Right? Oh, God, no, it's not going to be that. That's going to be it. Gavin Carrot, thank you for Super Chat. In my opinion, Marvel is not under franchise fatigue. The MCU maybe, but even then, a chunk of recent stuff has been good. Yeah, a lot of Marvel stuff has been good lately. I think Agatha...
Wait.
What?
Venom Wi-Fi, I think you came to the wrong stream if you think... that he's happy with MJ, not a gross guy. You realize Ant is bisexual and has written multiple articles about about the possibility of Peter Parker being bi. Like, I think you got lost somewhere, dude.
Yeah, I'm not here saying, I'm not even saying Peter Parker should end up with a guy. I'm just saying it would be, some alternate version would be nice. I think the fact that Marvel Editorial has not canonized MJ and Peter Parker to this day is ridiculous. Like, it was such a great couple in the 90s where they had such great dynamics and complex stuff. But then in the 2000s, they did the airplane explosion storyline where MJ died in a horrible explosion. Like, she went in an airplane and the plane blew up and Peter Parker was like, oh no, I guess. No, actually, at first he was like, yeah, sure she's dead. Yeah, sure she is. Yeah. Just like Gwen Stacy, just like my aunt.
Jason Todd moment.
Basically. And he's like, yeah, sure she's dead. And just as he's finally starting to believe that she's actually dead, it turns out she was not dead and was in fact kidnapped by a stalker and was alive the whole time. And then they separated and got back together and it was whole thing. And that's
like some Tower 47 shit. I love that so much. Except it's all real.
And then, well, I mean, it's not real, it's a comic, but
I know. That's what it's like, oh no, I guess airline fuel can make girlfriends disappear.
Basically, right? But what's funny is then they had one more day where they destroyed the marriage again, right after they brought back the marriage after the airplane incident. And it was bad. It was all very bad. I did not like that story at all. So anyway, with Marvel though, Agatha all along, really, really solid.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so good. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has been really good. Which I was not expecting to like it as much as I have, but I loved it. Especially like seeing Doc Ock and his like twink assistant getting on each other the whole time. Like, He's staying up late in his office playing video games. That's basically a cookie clicker.
Doc Ock needs a twink assistant.
He has one in Spider-Man. It's great.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. That's exactly what he needed. Good for him.
Yeah, and he has like a whole big dance number where he's beating people up. Like he's pulling a bunch of traps on like these armed guards, and it's like to like jazzy like musical number. It's great. It is. This is like one of my favorite versions of Doc Ock in a very long time. Just from how like campish it is. Like it's like he walked in from a different show, and I love it. And even then, Captain America 4, I will say this. I think I liked it a little more than a lot of other people online have. I get why people don't like it. I also kind of like, you know what? It's just a fun-ish action film. If you don't think about it too hard, it's not too offensive. It's a very, like, mediocre Marvel film, but it's also not bad. I think it's vapid, but that's not the same as saying it's terrible, I think, anyway. I know we probably discussed Marvel to hell and back last week, so I'll probably hold it off there until the next question. Hot take: saying Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four film is cowardly. I agree, even though I do say that. I think the Incredibles...
You know what? Incredibles is also like super libertarian in its messaging, so there you go. It's a big problem.
That's fair. It's fair. But is the structure, the family structure, is what the Fantastic Four film should be. Majin Gojira, thank you for Super Chat. As a Godzilla fan, the idea of franchise fatigue is largely alien to me. We've been through too much for it to affect us. I don't know. Godzilla will come up today. Twice, as a matter of fact. Because there's two different Godzilla continuities on this tier list. And we'll get to both of them later. But I agree with you. That's been going on for like, what, since 1954? Still going strong. Though I did point out in my Godzilla move video that there was a period of time where Godzilla did slow down a bit in terms of popularity. Because I'm bored, thank you for Super Chat. R.I.P. Ant, you would have loved Dinosaur Spider-Man. That's fair. I would have loved Dinosaur Spider-Man. I still love Dinosaur Spider-Man, conceptually. Jurassic Park with Spider-Man, I love it. Adrian Parchment, thank you for Super Chat. Since 3 out of the 4 members of the Fantastic Four are married, who should Johnny Storm be gay/straight with? Well, gay with Peter Parker, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think he can handle She-Hulk, though. I think She-Hulk can handle him. You know,
or regular Hulk,
or regular Hulk, but definitely She-Hulk too. Well, this is straight with, so that's the
okay. Yeah.
Any other opposition to those two?
No, wait. Is this Johnny Storm or
Storm.
Peter Parker?
Well, Johnny Storm.
Okay. I mean, like, I can only really think. I don't know. Maybe there could be something tender going on with Thing.
That's fair.
Something, you know.
Yeah, but I like the Thing's relationship with Alicia. Is that her name? The blind woman who like loves him for who he is. Listen,
I understand, but like sometimes this is a fictional world. We can imagine multiple possibilities.
That's true. That's very true. Madeline, any opposition there?
To no, it sounds. Let him be gay and burn the world down. That's cool.
Jack Sheehy, thank you for the chat. I would also say The Mandalorian is getting a bit fatigued because I think the story ended really well with season 2, only to have it ruined by the Book of Boba Fett. I agree. I think Book of Boba Fett is the worst Star Wars thing to have come out in the Disney era by a lot. Because unlike the other Star Wars stuff, it commits the worst sin possible. It's boring. That's the worst thing you can do. Say what you will about Palpatine returning and all that. At least the film wasn't boring. Book of Boba Fett was, in my opinion, anyway. Oliver 3748, thanks Super Chat. All I want is for Spider-Man to be bisexual. Is that too much to ask? Who'd you guys genuinely pair him up with if he was? Original character or new? Honestly, I still go with Peter Parker and MJ, but Johnny Storm and him have a lot of connection there. All right, Krim, now Peter Parker.
Did you say original character, or was that the question?
Original character or new? Yeah, I think original. I think the original.
Character. I would say like original character should be me.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
right?
should be my boyfriend. Yeah.
Valid. Krim, any opinion?
I mean,
there?
I know it's been a while, and I know that Peter Parker is kind of depicted as younger, but I always preferred older Peter Parker, and I miss the days of Deadpool and Spider-Man. I'm sorry to be cringe.
I like that one too. It's a good pair. I like Deadpool and Spider-Man in general. They have a good chemistry.
The most insufferable couple of all time.
Well, it's
that's why I like it.
but also like Peter Parker is like the quote unquote straight man to Deadpool's Deadpool, so it all works out.
That's like a fine. Like I'll be like,
Canadian,
I can hang out for like
Valid.
5 minutes, then I have to leave for my own sanity, or I'm gonna throw up.
Valid. All right, Jack Sheehy, thank you for super chat. Oh, 1 second. I missed out. Yeah. One of my there's a lot of super chats. I have to read through all these real quick. One of my family members during the writers' strike said that they didn't support the writers that much because the fact that they were producing mediocre shows and that AI would write a lot better. They're wrong. AI is not going to replace writers anytime soon. If AI
that's the worst thing you could absolutely have as a take.
Yeah. I mean, plus, like, you want to watch an AI written show, just watch Solo Leveling. I'm kidding. That's terrible.
Also, even like it doesn't matter if you're a good or bad writer, you should get paid.
Seriously,
like that's so insane that we're like, oh, you wrote a bad show, so you don't deserve money. Like, no, you did work, you did labor. Get paid for it.
Yeah, you deserve the money for that, 100%.
Oh, somebody's asking a question that I want to correct them on.
Go for it.
Aww.
Somebody said, "Isn't the Venom symbiote insane because it attached to Deadpool first?" No, it attached to Peter Parker first.
No, he's
and
right.
Peter Parker.
No,
is
right.
it?
Yeah, yes, they retconned that. So what happened was, it was a retcon fairly recently, actually. So
comics are so dumb.
Because originally it was that Peter Parker literally just broke Venom's heart, basically.
Yeah, that was.
He never got over it.
Well, now what happened in the comics is they wedged Deadpool into the Secret War event in like this one miniseries, and he got to the Venom symbiote first because, of course, he did. And the symbiote brain was scrambled by Deadpool's insanity, that it just made the symbiote go nuts. Even though this actually doesn't change anything but the original storyline, because if you read the original comics, the symbiote doesn't make Peter Parker go evil or like all edgy. It just it just picks up his body and carries him along on nighttime strolls. So like,
I'm just. That sucks. I like the idea that like Venom could be hurt by Peter Parker in such a profound way that it would change it forever. Well, it doesn't have to be like, I like Deadpool, but I don't think it has to be something as crazy as Deadpool. I think that like just getting really attached to Peter and then like no longer having access to Peter. Like, I don't know. Like,
I agree.
thought that was kind of tragically beautiful in a way.
And that's still canon, which is good. It's just this, and it's one of those things where like they include it in the comics, but they never really acknowledge it. It's weird, but I agree. I think there's a beauty to Venom being like this rejected, hurt soul that just wanted to like be loved and is now cast away and bitter. And because there's storylines where like Peter Parker beats Venom by just luring the symbiote back, and it's straining Eddie's body as a result of him being tugged too hard in one way, and it jerks him. Okay, I'm gonna stop myself before I go into that train of thought any further. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think it's a part of the tragic beauty of the Venom character in general. Kevin Garrett, thank you for super chat. There's a lot of super chats we won't get through before we get started on the thing. Haven't seen Brave New World yet because I refuse to give Disney theater money anymore, but I'll check it out on Disney Plus maybe. I recommend so. It's a good like evening chill kind of put whatever on movie, I think.
Like the Huxley book?
They named it after that, yeah, but it's nothing at all like the book.
Oh, okay.
It's Captain America Brave New World.
So there's not prepubescent.
Well, originally they wanted to call it
sex in the bush, like in the Brave New World book. That's good to know.
Well, originally they were going to call it New World Order, but
that's scary.
NWO.
but the problem was that, and that in that original version, Sabra was going to be a major character and not like rewritten to hell him back to the point where it might as well just be any other character than Sabra. Which having an Israeli character in a story called New World Order. That's correct. That's a choice.
That's correct, actually.
It's a Nazi reference, though.
Correct. That is correct. No, not only for Israel. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, before we get the stream, before Hassan gets on the stream, and sorry, Because I'm bored, thank you for Super Chat. I'm actually drawing a screenshot of A Lull in the Sea as a style study, and that anime is like the opposite of what this stream is about. A franchise that has only one season and nobody remembers. That's a fair point. Nutter the Butter. Did you know that John K's mentor was Ralph Bakshi? Yes, I did know that.
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. And I'm sure Krim knew that because, he like studied art and animation.
I'm awful with names though.
John K is
Sorry.
the Ren and Stimpy creator.
Oh.
The one
Yes,
who's
I did know that.
The one who's like a
John K worked on the Mighty Mouse revival.
Mm-hmm.
And got a lot of his sensibilities from Bakshi. Though, as far as I know, I don't think Bakshi's been canceled. I mean,
No.
I think he's a weird guy.
He's
made
just
some
a weird
unfortunate
guy.
decisions
He's just
in
an
film,
old.
but he's a weird guy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's just weird and really perverted. But I don't think he's like necessarily like criminal. So I think he's okay for now, unless someone's heard differently. In which case, I haven't heard it yet. But like, if you know it, you can tell me. But I might forget it again.
I mean, there's definitely. I mean, obviously, I'm thinking of like the one movie we're all definitely thinking of that he made. But I guess I kind of think of him as somebody that had his heart maybe in the right place, with his brain being somewhere completely different.
Well, he's counterculture.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about this guy.
Well, he was counterculture in a time where that was really essential. He really pushed the culture in a direction. It was like the 60s were full of like very stagnant, very censored material, and he really pushed into that more explicit, more unusual pieces of media, and that was really useful for the time. The problem is what he's done is since then been pushed much further. I'd argue South Park pushed it much, much further into a mainstream perspective. So it's almost like you go back to Fritz the Cat, and it's like, oh, well, this is like a dated product. This is not cutting edge like it was back in the 70s or 60s. Mm-hmm. Joshua Douglas, thank you for Super Chat. Chilling for Ann, his Discord is with it 100%. Thank you so much. Nick Wolf, thank you for Super Chat. Spidey, Iceman, Torch, Wade, best or worst polycule?
Yes.
Yes, that's a great idea. And Nutter the Butter, thank you for the Super Chat, and thank you for that sticker. All right, let's just dive in. We're getting sidetracked really deeply. Let's take a look at the...
You know, my favorite thing about Lily Orchard
is
that...
Lily Orchard... Lily Orchard is... I'm kidding. I'm not going to do the West Side Tyler thing. I can't do his like Trump impersonation. It's just too out there. Anyway, so let's talk about the chart. You can all see right here. This is the tier list as we last left it. We intend today to get to the end of this. Thankfully, none of these are as gigantic a topic as the MCU.
I think we've got through most of the like large discussions.
Don't say that.
Oh,
yet.
I see one. I see a couple that I want to talk about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a few I really want to talk about here. In fact, there's a few. Honestly, I feel like with the first half, we got the big franchises that everyone knows out of the way, and now we're getting into the more esoteric kind of niche ones.
This is the weird little ones we're going to bitch at each other about.
Oh, 100%. And there's some big franchises here too. But let's get one that no one I think here cares about all that much, The Hangover.
I should get I'm going to get some water while you all talk about that one.
Go for it. The Hangover, brought to you by Todd Phillips, who made the Joker.
Why is the Hangover movie on here and like National Lampoon and American Pie aren't?
You see, that's the thing. I would say National Lampoon and American Pie are much bigger franchises than The Hangover.
And they more like wore out their welcome 10 times over what Hangover did.
Hangover had one really funny movie and then 2 sequels.
Why did it need sequels?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's because Todd Phillips keeps wanting to make sequels, but doesn't know how to actually make a sequel. Because I'm bored. Oh, I miss Batman. Yeah, we had like a mixed discussion of Batman where it was like, we brought it up because we liked the 80s, the Tim Burton Schumacher stuff and the recent Batman, but then brought it down because of the Christopher Nolan films. So I end up in a good
Still in a
tier.
pretty high place, you know?
Yeah, it's still pretty high. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still below X-Men because we need more X-Men in our lives. But yeah, Hangover. Did either of you like the sequels to The Hangover?
I mean, the first one even is like okay.
I didn't even like the first one.
I liked the first one enough, but I also remember reading that like Todd Phillips threw like a temper tantrum because like he was like, people don't get comedies. You can't make any jokes anymore. Ugh. And then he went to make the Joker, which was just actual pain.
Yeah, he would improve on the lessons he learned in Hangover and make the two greatest films of all time. Anyway, no, we don't need any more Hangover movies. Please do not make any more Hangover movies.
Yeah, why were they making these? Why was this a series? Yeah. So
did not need to be a franchise.
Did not need to be a franchise. Lucky Rambo, thank you for super chat. I would love to watch a franchise of D&D, each movie being a different genre. Horror, epic action, heist movie, etc. Yeah, so would I. I mean, you kind of got...
Did you all see, you're probably just going to say it, the latest D&D movie was really good.
I
was
that
very
one.
surprised. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite fantasy films of the last 10 years. I really adored it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also one of the only fantasy films of the last 10 years, so it all works out. No, I really dug it. I'm happy they're doing a Forgotten Realms show for Netflix. They just re-announced that. But I am going to say that I hope they do Ravenloft, because Ravenloft is one of my favorite modules. I love Strahd. He's such a great villain.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah, I know. I ran a Ravenloft, and the last two campaigns I ran was Ravenloft and Rime of the Frost Maiden. And you know, I could do with Icewind Dale, whatever. It's a nice location. I like it in the Drizzt stories well enough. But like Ravenloft is just like gothic horror meets Lord of the Rings. It's great. It's great stuff. Would love a D&D franchise. But not the one we got in the 2000s. That was pretty bad. Jay Wong, thank you for super chat. I only watched the Disney part in the last video, and I left a comment about how bringing back 2D Disney movies would be like MTV bringing back music videos.
Yeah, it should happen. Yeah. It should both happen.
Yeah, I agree. It should both happen. I'm seeing a comment here that from J H Le Matotier. Ralph Bashki is too weird to ever get canceled, but if ever he did, would anyone care about it? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think he'd care about it. I don't think he'd notice, honestly, if he got canceled.
Yeah.
You just keep
He's on
doing...
Twitter now, I think. He posts, like... It might not even be him. Maybe it's, like, his nephew or something, but...
Knowing him, it probably is him.
Nice. He's not saying anything, like, weird. He's just like, here's a cell from my Lord of the Rings movie. Like, all right.
I can see that. All right, Kung Fu Panda. This one's interesting because it was a perfect trilogy, and then a fourth film came out. Have you seen the fourth Kung Fu Panda film?
Can I be honest with you?
Go for it.
I don't care for Kung Fu Panda.
Oh my God, Krim, this is a hot take.
I'm sorry, it never grabbed me. I just don't really care about it.
But it's like the perfect martial arts film with pandas. And Jack Black is a panda doing martial arts.
No.
I have to disagree with Krim. I love Kung Fu Panda movies.
How can you disagree with me? I said I don't care for it. That's a personal opinion. You can't disagree with me on
Krim, you're so wrong about your opinion.
I disagree with your feelings.
Krim, Krim, if you dislike Kung Fu Panda so much, how do you explain that time we were talking and you said, I love Kung Fu Panda so much. It's my favorite movie. I watched it 15 times this week.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say if you don't like it. Yeah.
It's a strange conversation.
Listen, Madeline. This is why there's so much infighting in the trans community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kung Fu Panda did some more damage to the trans community than most other fighting pandas, I guess.
People want to cancel you in chat, by the way, Krim, for your opinions on Kung Fu Panda.
It's not my thing.
Finally, it's not me getting canceled in your freaking comments.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I love it.
Yeah, people. Yeah, let's be respectful. By the way, in the comments section, let's not be mean.
You're all so mean. It's fine. You're all so mean to me, but it's fine. I love it. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, are people mad at me?
No,
You know
this is
what?
messing around.
No.
Kiss my left ass cheek. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
That's
specifically,
you guys.
I'll pull I'll pull it out too. I don't care. I don't like Kung Fu Panda. Leave me alone.
Pull out your butt cheek.
just the one. Just the one.
Just the one, yeah.
I said what I said.
Do we have a place? I think they can make more Kung Fu Pandas. That's fine.
Yeah, I'd
I
be
have no
down for
problem
that.
with that.
I think a good
Yeah.
series. I think it should slow down a little bit though, because Kung Fu Panda
Mm-hmm.
4, I was not a fan of. I thought it was a disappointment.
I didn't even see it. So
There you go. That goes show you.
I didn't realize there was a Kung Fu Panda
Just
4.
came out, and it has everyone's favorite actor in it. What's his name from The
Oh
Graduate?
no.
And Tootsie.
Oh,
What's his name?
yeah.
Who was
mhm.
like the substitute teacher in The
and
Simpsons.
Megalopolis.
And Megalopolis, everyone's favorite movie with tons of actors
Everyone's
without any
favorite movie, yeah.
controversy. Oh,
Yeah,
it's gonna drive me crazy. I can see his face in my brain's eye.
The cat is also
your mind's
mentioned that
eye,
there
you
was
mean?
a-
Yes, that one. That eye.
Yeah, Chad is also mentioning that there was a Kung Fu Panda TV show, which I have not seen. Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
This is what
Hoffman.
they-
There we go. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Chad.
No, it's not Aquafina. Aquafina was not in Megalopolis.
Aquafina was really good in The Graduate.
Or
I disagree with
Tootsie
that
or The
take.
Graduate.
Yeah.
Aquafina was not in The Graduate. I know. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't think Aquafina was born at that point.
Wasn't no Aquafina was the plastics guy.
Oh my god. It's like plastics.
Plastics.
Maybe like 5 people know what I'm talking about in like chat.
I like that. It's so horribly dated, but I do think there is a lot of good in that movie.
I love the
But,
soundtrack.
yeah.
It's a great soundtrack. It's all
No,
Simon and Garfunkel.
you
It's
can't
amazing.
go wrong with
I
that.
love Simon and Garfunkel.
Love
Sorry to
them.
be gay.
No, I'm with you there.
Predictable. So
My spa-
fucking predictable.
My spouse hates it when I play Simon and Garfunkel.
Well,
Aw. That's some of
Yeah.
the first stuff I learned on guitar was Simon and Garfunkel. I love that stuff. Yeah.
I was belting Simon and Garfunkel earlier today, actually.
Aw.
Yeah.
So
That's great. I love that though. Like Scarborough Fair, I play all the time in the car. It's pretty great. Anyway,
Did you guys ever hear? Oh, sorry.
No, go for
Sorry.
it. I'm sorry. You go first.
I was gonna ask if have you ever like heard Danny from Ninja Sex Party's cover
Yes.
of Scarborough Fair?
It's a
I swear to
good
God,
cover.
that man is the reincarnation of a fucking like medieval bard. What the fuck was
Mhm.
that?
Aw.
Seriously. Oh, it's great. That's a great cover. Anyway, let's move on to one of my favorite franchises of all time. This is where we get really niche and they get really esoteric. And you both will probably be annoyed with me by the time I'm finished with this. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know if that's esoteric.
That's true. It is one of the biggest horror franchises of all time.
I have a crim like confession. These are not my favorite movie. I'm only okay on the Nightmare movies, even the first one. Like I know they're classics. I understand like why they're popular, but they just never really. I don't know. They didn't speak to me like it seemed like they did to my friends. So I'm kind of indifferent on this one.
Krim, do you have any opinions on Freddy Krueger and
I think the first movie was pretty good. And I mean, I even liked some of the other ones, like, you know, like I liked Freddy versus Jason. Who didn't?
yeah,
Except for
it's so much fun.
Madeline, obviously, but
I didn't
you
see
know,
that one.
Clearly.
Uh,
Madeline, let
I
me
hate
movies.
spoil the plot
but-
of Freddy versus
yeah.
Jason.
but
Freddy and Jason
what else?
fight.
yeah, but what? Like at this point, it's like, what else is there? Like, I don't think we need any more.
I disagree, and I'm going to make my case for this because I've
Okay,
been
okay,
preparing all week
You
for this
remember the
one.
last time they made a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? And
Yes, it was bad. It was
Yes.
2010. But that being said, that was because it was Platinum Dunes. So let's put that in perspective. Nightmare on Elm Street is a great series because it constantly is about this overly imaginative villain who's able to harness the power of dreams against you. And part 1, part 3, and part 7 are fantastic horror films. It's brilliant. Oh, by the way, Krim, I think I'm leaking through your audio there again.
Oh, sorry. I was like basically face planting against the microphone. Sorry.
That's valid. But no, so Freddy Krueger is basically one of the scariest horror villains of all time. In terms of his power set, in terms of how he attacks people, and like with how good the It remake, the first one, was, I think there's a lot of room for
See, I did not
but it would have
the It remake at all. I thought it was actually pretty bad. The first one. Yeah,
I would
I
like to amend my statement.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to reboot it from the ground up.
Yeah,
Complete reboot.
That's what I think too is the best way. It's not like Halloween where you can just make a sequel to the first one again and again and again, because you can't replace Robert Englund. That's the one issue. Robert Englund is Freddy. That's
don't make him a pedophile. Like
I don't like when they do that as much.
Yeah, don't do that.
I also don't like how they did it too. I mean, there's a way you could do it well, but I don't like how they did it in the remake because it felt too. It's like, oh, what if he wasn't a pedophile? Oh, wait, he is. Oh, he is one. Okay, never mind. I guess we're wrong. Because it's like, they pull like, oh, maybe he's not evil. Oh, wait, he is. Actually, he's worse. Oh, God, there's photos. Whereas in the...
I think... Sorry.
No, it's all good.
It takes a turn, yeah.
Yeah. It just takes an abrupt shift there. Whereas, like, I think Freddy is best when he is like a prey... Because in the first 3 films... Well, first 4 films, he's preying on the children of the adults who killed him. And then halfway through 4, he's like, you know what? I got rid of all those kids. Now I can go back to killing more people. And he has a fun time from there.
I have a question for you, Anne. Do you prefer the slightly more serious Freddy Krueger from the first one or the goofier one from the sequels?
I think my perfect mix is the third one. Because it's a good mix of intimidating but also funny.
I did not hate the third one. The third one, it's all relative because these movies are kind of all whatever to me. But yeah, third one's fun.
I love the third one. The third one is great because it's like a bunch of I love what the third one is. Like with a lot of slashers from the era, all these teens were diametrically opposed. Like they're very much stock characters, whereas in the third Nightmare on Elm Street, they felt like real kids who were coming together with like different problems and interests. And we're working together for the common good of survival. And I love that dynamic. And I love the character of Nancy in the first and third film. Because she starts off as this survivor of Freddy, but then becomes almost like a den mom to these other kids who are going through the same thing. I love that language of shared trauma.
She was an early crush for me.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Can't blame you there. And now she works in special effects at Heather Langenkamp Camp.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, she's in Star Trek stuff.
I think if you were to do something in Elm Street, you'd need to bring something new to the table. And like, I think you would I think honestly you would have to do both. I think you would have to make it a period piece, and B, I think that it would be stronger if you were making a common take, drawing on some modern fears, because time is a flat fucking circle. So
I agree, and the thing about Wes Craven,
and then maybe set it up, and then maybe like set it up so that like a sequel, like you revisit like each sequel would be in a different decade, and it would be examining like the times. I think that would be the way to reboot it.
I would love that, honestly. And Wes Craven, when he made Nightmare on Elm Street, was drawing from Reagan. A lot of the original Nightmare on Elm Street, it draws from the fears and the kind of mentality of the 80s of the adults who are kind of ignoring the problems that were now hurting their children. Again, history repeats itself frequently. The sins of the father paid upon the son. That kind of mentality is what drives Freddy Krueger in the first and third film. Also, the second film was driven by the power of being gay.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the super chat mention that as well. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was the one
if you
Cracked article that was like, "This is the gayest horror film of all time." Nightmare on Elm
Yeah,
Street
I
2.
remember Cracked back in the day.
if
That was a fun
if
website.
if you could like, you could maybe do something like it touches upon how do I say this? It touches upon maybe like the effects of homophobia at any given time throughout the ages. I don't know. I feel like you have to do something interesting for me to want to sit down and watch another.
Well, I always love the idea. I always love the idea of Peter Jackson's rejected Nightmare on Elm Street script. That was always a cool idea. You know about that script?
I don't.
So Peter Jackson submitted a script that was going to be the 6th Nightmare on Elm Street film that was ultimately rejected. But that script, it went to New Line, and New Line Cinema, they were like, "Oh yeah, that guy sent us a Nightmare on Elm Street script. Let's bring him in for this Lord of the Rings film we want to make." You know, that was kind of a guy's foot in the door with Lord of the Rings. But the idea of it was that Freddy Krueger would be a joke. That all these kids would be, it would be kind of like these kids on bets would put themselves to sleep, find Freddy and beat him up in a dream.
I have heard of this. It sounds really familiar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was like basically like Freddy Krueger's this pathetic creature who lost his mojo, and then he kills one of the kids and slowly starts to become a nightmare for these kids who are unsuspecting and think they're walking into a, like almost like a hazing thing, but really Krueger is like out to kill them now. It was really clever. More complicated than I'm making it sound, but it was very much early 90s Peter Jackson, which is more like Dead Alive than, you know, King Kong. Like very unhinged, Meet the Feebles kind of stuff.
Oh my god, don't get me started on King Kong.
No,
One of the most boring films I've ever seen in my life.
King Kong may come up later in discussion, but we'll get to that later.
I was falling asleep.
I agree. Now, it sounds like we're kind of mixed on Freddy. If it was up to me, I'd say more movies now, please. But both of you seem very mixed to low on it, so I'll put it in wait for Netflix. Though I will say, this comes with the caveat that I would put it like on the top level. So
we've established that there are many things I would personally. Hey, if you got to put Disney on yellow, then we got to do Elm Street.
Valid.
On Netflix also. I'm sorry.
Along with Marvel, apparently.
We all get to suffer. Yeah.
The Mummy. This one's complicated because this encompasses about 9 different films across from the beginning of cinema to a couple years ago. I don't know how to even discuss this one because this is the equivalent of 9 different films.
I mean, if they can get like a good reboot like they did with Invisible Man, but you know, I recently saw that new Wolfman and I was not impressed. I thought it was pretty bad. So,
I've been hesitant to watch it.
I don't know. I don't know where the Blumhouse is on remaking these classic monsters. I don't know. I'm mixed on it.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because I think The Mummy has 2 really good films: the 1930s one and the 1990s one with Brendan Fraser.
Both of them, I think Returns is pretty good too.
Mixed on Returns.
I like Returns. Even like the Scorpion King is like fun in a stupid kind of way. So
I guess the Scorpion King would count in this franchise. So that's like 4 or 5 extra films now we have to discuss.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to discuss.
It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It works. Oh, by the way, Krim, I'm definitely hearing myself echo in your mic.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. But no, yeah, I think I can hold off on seeing more Mummy films. That being said, though, I do want to see more of the Dark Universes. I love how Universal... Oh, what about the Hammer version? There is a Hammer version of The Mummy. That is a good adaptation, but I don't consider it as part of the Mummy series because it's not owned by Universal.
Hey now. Because you said that, like, Batman, we had to count all of them, not just The Dark Knight.
That's okay, so that's true. But if we're counting every Mummy movie ever, that's much more difficult. Plus, the Hammer movie isn't a remake of The Mummy. It's just a movie about a mummy. That's the problem. It's like, it's not by the same studio. It's not part of that same series timeline.
Why are you bringing it up?
Because Commons mentioned the Hammer.
Okay.
Yeah, they mentioned the Hammer one, which is different. The Hammer movie is just a movie about a mummy. But it's not a remake, really, of the Imhotep mummy film from the 30s. Nor is it the Karras ones. Nor is it the 90s with Imhotep again, with that whole saga. Tomb of the Dragon Emperor I like, but it kind of permanently damaged Brendan Fraser's back. So I kind of...
I didn't. I thought that was the worst one. That movie sucks.
I think it was okay, but you also got to keep in mind I saw the 40s Mummies films with Karras and... is it Karras or Kara? I forget what the mummy's actually named in that, and it's pretty bad. I do like the one where the mummy finally kills the girl, though. Like she just rapidly ages as they descend into a swamp, and you think, oh wow, the mummy's finally reunited with his lost lover. And then, well, I love what the 40s Mummies films. There's like decades between each film, but they were all filmed in the 40s. So technically, the last film takes place in the 1990s. And knowing that, conflated with the 40s aesthetic, the 40s clothing, the 40s like look, it's so
beautiful.
It's amazing.
What could have been?
It's like, oh, this is 1940s Louisiana. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's add up the decades of this franchise so far. Oh, it's 1994. They should be listening to Nirvana right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe this is a compromise. I think The Mummy as a classic public domain monster has potential, like any public domain monster. If you want to talk about more Brendan Fraser movies, probably not.
No. Yeah.
Probably no more of the Tom Cruises. We don't need those.
But a full-blown reboot, I'd watch.
Yeah.
I watch a full.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good series. I think they should change gears rapidly, make it a horror film, not an action film. But
sure.
The Hunger Games. Actually, let me read a few super chats before we get started with that, though, real quick. Before we get started on The Hunger Games, let me read some super chats because I've been letting a few pile up. Jay Wong, thanks for super chat. Though my point was, it's a futile effort. That's fair. Nick Wolf, I love Aquafina as Harvey Milk. Oh God, yes. Because I'm bored.
Great performance.
Legendary. She really like slipped into the role so well. Because I'm bored.
I don't like when she took the Oscar away from Mickey Rourke though. That was a little.
That was bad. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I'm bored. I'm your boyfriend now. I had to do that.
Who is that sent to?
That's a Freddy Krueger line.
Oh, okay, that's right.
It's where the receiver of the phone becomes a tongue and licks Nancy's face. Gavin Carrot, thanks super chat. I don't know if there can ever be a good Nightmare on Elm Street film without Robert Englund. Like maybe if they find a suitable replacement, but who could possibly do that?
You have to be completely different. You can't do the same character. It'd have to be a whole new reinvention. Otherwise, we would just be comparing it to Robert Englund.
I have said for years that I think that Kevin Bacon would have been a good Freddy Krueger replacement, but now it's like so long after the point where when I first was saying that, you have to find someone like Kevin Bacon, I think.
Yeah, what is Aquafina doing right now?
Aquafina as Freddy Krueger. Am is the scariest in terms of power set. Am is in like the AI.
I Have No Mouth?
That's what I was thinking. Right? I would agree with that. Am is pretty terrifying, but very different from what we're talking about today. The guy, thank you for super chat. Oh, that's right. We talked about Freddy Krueger having power sets. That's right. Yeah, Am is the scariest. That's very true. The guy 493. Shout out to Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for being a gay coming out movie in the 80s. Yeah, 100% agree with that. There's actually a really good documentary about the making of Nightmare on Elm Street 2 that was really good. That I thought was excellent. The guy 493. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Oh my. Yeah, 100% agree with that one.
True story. Rachel Weisz was, I didn't realize at the time, but that was the woman I wanted to be. You know, like when I saw Rachel Weisz, I'm like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and I want to be her. So yeah, for that, I have to say, extremely influential to my coming out.
That's fair. Oh, I'm seeing Willem Dafoe as a suggestion for Freddy Krueger. That could work.
You're saying that. I can't believe you're saying that, Madeline, after dragging me for liking Treasure Planet.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't say not for that. No, not for that.
Infighting.
No, not for that reason. Not for that reason. That's because that's a bad movie. But I respect wanting to be the air surfing Hawkins
Yeah, you fucking better.
Okay, so I'm seeing people.
I'm pulling your leg. You're fine. You're fine.
No, hey, am I not allowed to joke? You know, I know I'm a woman, but I think I can make a joke every now and then.
I'm seeing people in comments asking us about our opinions on the Smurfs.
What?
I don't want to talk about the Smurfs.
I don't like them. I don't like it. They're freaky.
I've
The
never
new-
liked
little
the
blue
Smurfs.
little blue guys.
The
I'm not
new
into it.
Smurfs trailer is maybe the single worst trailer I've seen for anything in a very long time.
No, okay,
It's
come on.
bad. Like
Come on. It's
the
not.
new one, the new trailer for the upcoming Smurfs film.
Oh, whatever. I didn't even like the original cartoon. It's just a boring
Yeah.
franchise. I don't.
That's bad
care
too.
About, I
But-
don't care about the Smurfs.
Neither do I, but there's something about the new Smurfs movie. Like, I sat there looking at the trailer, not watching the trailer. I was looking at it. I was kind of like, I felt myself slowly disassociate from the trailer and from the world itself, and went like, "What is this?"
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody. And it's just the last live action film where, like, oh, the Smurfs are isekaiing into the real world, except now Rihanna's in it.
Good for her, I guess.
I don't know. I don't. And like a lot of the cast is surprising. Like some of the actors in this new movie, it's like. Let me read up some of the cast here. Okay, the Smurfs
Oh,
movie
Lord.
2025. So you got Rihanna, Octavia Spencer, James Corden,
What?
Kurt Russell, Nick Offerman, John Goodman, Billy Lord, Sandra Oh. Like,
People come out for the Smurfs, I guess. I guess that's an actor's dream,
Right?
is to play a Smurf. I don't know.
Nick Kroll, Dan Levy, Alex Winter. What are you doing here?
Okay.
Amy
They,
Sedaris.
they really want Zoomers to watch this film, I guess.
Alex Winter isn't a Zoomer. That's like from Bill and Ted.
No, I was talking one of the other actors you mentioned. Anyway,
James Corden.
yeah, that's what I meant. Zoomers love James Corden. They love his
yeah.
antics. They love when he's a cat. They love everything.
I don't think anybody likes James Corden.
No, somehow like
No.
I think John Goodman is Papa Smurf, and I think Nick Offerman's Papa Smurf's
Oh,
brother,
no.
which
Mm.
bothers me on
Brother. Yeah, quote unquote brother.
Brother.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, they both have beards. Coincidental, I'm pointing it
That's
out.
why they're brothers. Yeah.
We're like brothers. Oh, well, it's like how Sailor Moon. It was with Sailor Uranus and Neptune, who were both cousins, right? That was that was what happened in Sailor Moon, right? They were both cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes it better that they kiss. That makes it okay. If they're kissing, it's fine for them to be in a relationship with their cousins.
Exactly. I'm glad we agree on this one. Okay, the Hunger Games. I don't see why they're continuing that. I didn't think the books past the third. I don't think the prequel book was all that good. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah,
I only read the first book.
See,
Yeah.
the Hunger Games were fucking solid,
Mm-hmm.
decent books. The movies were okay.
Yeah.
The books were fun. The books were good. We don't need more.
Yeah. It started. It concluded.
I
it's
only read
done.
I only read the first book, but I did like it, and I did like the first movie, more than I thought I would, for sure. The second one I kind of already forgot. Yeah, that's it.
I don't. I
Probably
think
not anymore. We don't need any more of them. I agree with that.
I think the films lost a lot of the subtext, and I think a lot was lost in translation from the books to the film, because the whole undercurrent of the plot was the psychological game of marketing yourself to an audience in the face of death, and the films were so surface events and surface conflict that they didn't figure out a way to translate that undercurrent of conflict on film that well, I feel. But that's just my personal bitterness over it. And I also think that they made it too action heavy, whereas the later books were more because remember when I was a kid, people going like, "Oh, I hate the second and third book, but I love the first one." Like, well, no, the second and third book were more the political angle, the more socioeconomic angle. But I think it's a good series that should be over. I think Hunger Games, it was good that it was, but it should be it was. You know?
Hate
They
what
made
it
like
did
a spin-off or
to
something.
the
didn't they?
YA.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, prequel. I hate what they did to the whole way AI, like quote unquote genre YA AI, the YA genre.
AI.
Yeah, that's gonna pop up in a couple of years. Mark my words.
Oh yeah.
But like Divergent was nonsense.
Agreed.
Maze Runner nonsense.
They are good YA dystopia stories outside of Hunger Games and those ones, but I feel like the trend of chasing the dystopian lead really fell off hard because every book was trying to just be like a weirdly formulated dystopia that didn't analyze what made those worlds so powerful. And I think I'm sorry.
It's okay. You continue, Anthony. My bad.
I was going to say just simply that, like, I think the best dystopian books were books like The Giver, books like The Hunger Games that were, like, very much invested in the messaging of those worlds and what they meant rather than simply, oh, hey, it's dystopia. It's all, things are wrong. Things are bad. It's not good. In a way that really explored how they could be developed as a story and a world and what that meant to the audience. There was one really strange dystopian book. I forget what it was called. I think it was called Unwind. I think it was. It was basically a book about. It was basically an anti-abortion book where a law is passed where they can basically disassemble a person after being born at a certain age, and like just donate all their organs to like science and medicine, whatever.
That rocks.
It was such a such a frankly insane dystopian, but it has such a visually disturbing scene where one character is basically disassembled alive and their organs are displaced in medical jars, and it's done with from his perspective as he's consciously being disassembled, essentially. And it was like, what is this? This was insane.
I gotta say, that would be a much more interesting premise to Repo the Genetic Opera than what we actually got.
100%.
Super fascinated in what you just said.
Yeah, it was nuts, and it has sequels and everything, but I only read the first book. I'm like, this is crazy. And just that one sequence was like,
I kind of want to read it. Maybe I'm going to become a truther or whatever.
I
sounds really interesting.
I just remember that like a decade on, just thinking like that book was insane. Like, what were they thinking? But also such a disturbing visual. They figured a way to get it so perfectly. Anyway, yeah. So Hunger Games, it's good that it was, but it should be that it was. I think. And we'll come back to YA again later, because there's another YA book on this row, actually. Okay, so, Rush Hour.
I have in my contract that I cannot talk about a Brett Ratner property at any point, so if we can wrap this up quickly, that would be great.
Okay. Krim, do you have any opinions on Rush Hour?
I liked them when I was younger, but, again, it's like, why are there more of these?
Yeah, the first film, I think the first film's still pretty funny. Like, there's a good buddy cop dynamic. I think that Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker have a good dynamic with each other. Ignoring all the actions of all people involved in real life. Because I don't think any of them are, like, particularly great people. It's just a good, fun movie. As long as you don't look into anything that Brett Ratner has done, anything Jackie Chan has said, and any of the rumors about Chris Tucker,
I just remember the film for like had a lot of homophobic jokes, if I remember.
I don't remember homophobic jokes.
I mean,
more
90s
stuff.
shit.
It's 90s kind of like no homo kind of stuff.
I don't think the first film has that. But I only watched the first film like a year or two ago. I thought the first film holds up pretty decently, but I also don't remember any seriously bad jokes. But the second one maybe has more. But in terms of, well, Chris Tucker, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into Chris Tucker rumors because I don't want to say anything that I've heard rumors involving like certain lists, but I don't want to say anything because I can't confirm any of that. I can confirm that Brett Ratner did some really cruddy stuff.
Oh yeah, he's pretty gross.
He's a gross person.
He got canceled.
And Jackie Chan, he is well documented in terms of some of his not so great opinions. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I think that Rush Hour. I think it's like they shouldn't. Like I think if they make another Rush Hour, I'll wait for Netflix, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like watch a Rush Hour film. The first one I think has some good charm, but I think after that you're like, I don't know if there's a point. Okay, it's now time for me to discuss the film that I think fell off the hardest after the first film, Rambo. Of any franchise on this list, this is the most drastic difference between 1 and 2.
The problem with another Rambo movie is you can't call it Rambo. Like, you can't have that movie because in order for Rambo to be good, like the first Rambo was, it has to kind of just stop being what Rambo is now. There was that movie that was called like the new Rambo that came out on something.
Was it Rambo Last Blood? Was that it?
No, it's not a Rambo movie. The film that came out on Netflix, like something Ridge or Creek or somebody in chat knows what I'm talking about. But that's often compared to as like a Rambo-esque film because it's a similar setup. But you know, with kind of a better message, even though it's not exactly as anti-cop as I would have loved it to be. I think if we're gonna make movies about, you know, how we screw over the little people, the little guys, the little whatevers, you know, if we're gonna screw over the working class, it's not in Rambo. Let's not do it in Rambo.
What did you just call me?
What? Rebel Ridge. That's the name of the movie that
Rebel Ridge.
Describing.
Yeah.
No, I was. Never mind.
No, I know what I'm talking about. No, I think I think First Blood is a genuine great movie. I think First Blood is a fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Great. I think that's like peak cinema. I think, and it has one of the best speeches of like which ends with two men crying into each other's arms. Basically, this big action film ends with a conversation, and I think that's such a great visual. I think it's a great movie about like how we would treat traumatized veterans who are coming back from war. Many of whom were just drafted. They didn't like enlist. They were just drafted into war, and they'd come back with like no support for their emotions. They would just be left to like kind of fall through the cracks of society. The cops cause all the problems in that movie because they're just intolerant and jerks and territorial. But those sequels are all bad because they completely contradict the messaging of the first film.
No, they're all very jingoist, pro-war, pro-imperialism. Rambo, like, 4 is literally just so many scenes of killing Asian people. Like, that's the entire film. It's just, like, mowing down Asian people, and it's not great.
Oh, it's horrendous. I do want to read a couple super chats because there's some Rambo-related super chats here. But first, Nut of the Butter. Great idea for a sequel to Jason X. Have Uber Jason go up against Key and Yuri from Dirty Pair. Yes, that sounds great.
Dirty Pair. That is a name I have not heard.
I love Dirty Pair. It's a great series.
Dirty Pair Flash, I think, was the first adult-esque anime I ever saw because it was on Showtime Beyond.
I love that.
And I would watch it at night, and
Love Dirty
I
Pair.
think I have it on DVD somewhere.
I love it. I love it. The guy 493 Rambo 3 dedicated to the Taliban. Yeah, that's a
hell yeah.
And then Nick Wolf, Rambo 3 dedicated to the brave Mujahideen. Yeah, that's the thing about Rambo 3 that you watch and you're like,
can I ask you something? Do we get to win this time?
What?
What the fuck was that fucking
What the fuck was that?
That took me out.
That was something.
Did not expect that.
Yeah, that took me by surprise though.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, like, the Rambo films, they just get more and more jingoistic and pretty racist as they go on. It's the 80s, I guess. I guess, like, Rambo is, like, the transition from the 70s to the 80s, where the 70s were, like, very, like, self-reflective and kind of, like, cynical. The 80s was, like, yeah, let's blow everything up. Yeah.
It's the Reagan effect. It's literally the Reagan effect. It changed just everyone. It made everyone go insane.
Exactly. The Commando's a better movie, I would say, than Rambo 2. But it's the same concept. But Commando's better because it's funnier. Krim, do you have
Arnold
any opinions?
Schwarzenegger, I love that movie.
Oh, it's so great. I love Commando.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinions on the Rambo series, Krim?
I mean, not really. I'm more of a Schwarzenegger kind of guy.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll be honest. Stallone, I feel like, has some really great movies like First Blood, the first Rocky, but I feel like unlike Rocky, the Rambo series shows like who he really is. Like, just they fell off. This series fell off hard. Okay, now we get into the fun stuff. Godzilla.
Yeah, keep making them.
But we're talking like the original
yeah,
Japanese
just keep doing
stuff.
Godzilla. I don't want to live in a world where they're not making Godzilla films. Even if I don't watch them, I like knowing that they're there.
Agreed.
I also, I think it's okay to want more of them as well.
Agreed. More now, please. Plus, let's be honest, the Japanese Godzilla films, the last two they've made have been some of the best ones they've made ever. Like, Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1 are legitimately...
Godzilla -1 was so good. Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Peak Godzilla. That film is absolutely
Amazing.
incredible. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, Shin Godzilla 2, also fantastic. Like, they made Godzilla into this Lovecraftian horror. Mind you, this is separate from the MonsterVerse films, which are going to be discussed later, because for some reason they divided them. But, okay, I'm going to trust you two to talk a little bit. I have to run to the bathroom real quick. But don't take over chat too quickly, okay?
What's the next? What's the next
Oh,
one?
Die Hard.
Oh,
My favorite
Yeah,
Christmas
they made a lot
movie.
of
I'll be back as you have opinions on Die Hard. I have to run away to use the bathroom real quick.
okay. Use the bathroom. Hello, everyone. We have taken over the studio, and
Okay. The trans New World Order. We will be we will be telling you what that is now, live from Anthony Gramolia's channel.
Trans New Order, the next Captain America film. I hope you all get excited for it. Let's answer some questions. Everyone's making comments like, Madeline, you're so great and pretty. What's your secret? Well, the answer is a lot of hard work, makeup routine, healthcare routine.
What?
Yeah.
What's your skin routine, Madeline?
I keep it off. Don't take it off if you want good skin. Just
Keep it on there.
keep it
Also,
on there.
yes, to answer your questions, every single character in the MCU from this point forward is transsexual. We will not be taking any feedback on that.
Everyone's trans. Everyone is both all of the genders and none of the genders simultaneously. And they're all my boyfriend, regardless of gender.
Listen, a girl can be a boyfriend.
It's fine. It's they're all my partners. We're all in a big Polly Pocket polycule, and I'm really excited about it.
Hi. We were being good.
Well, no, we
Okay.
didn't do anything. Yeah, it's fine.
So what happened?
You're talking about
Nothing. You're talking
nothing.
about Die Hard, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Let me check. So here's the thing with Die Hard. Why bother making them if Bruce Willis can't be in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
mean-
the thing.
We already
Exactly.
have Die Hard in a blank movies anyway. Like, there's so many Die Hards not called Die Hard. We don't need Die Hard.
Exactly. And like Die Hard, the original is a masterpiece of action. I think it's just a great film.
Yeah.
Die
I
Hard.
like it too. I think it holds up. Yeah.
I think until you get to 5, there's something good about all the Die Hard films to some extent. I even like 4, but
I didn't know there was 5.
there's 5. There's 5 Die Hard films. There's Die Hard 1, which is the Christmas one in the building. There's Die Hard 2, which is the Christmas film in the airport. There's Die Hard 3, which has Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis fighting Scar. There's Die Hard 4, which as Bruce Willis was Justin Long fighting super hackers. And then there's 5, which is Bruce Willis and his son in Russia fighting Russians. 5 is the only of all of them. I think 5 is the only one where I'm like, this actually is not enjoyable.
Yeah, 4 is at least dumb in a fun way. Yeah,
And
just sucks.
And it also has Mary Elizabeth Winstead as his daughter, which is great because
Aw.
she's able to like match his level of surly like aggression at the world.
Beautiful.
And I feel like Justin Long has had such a great career playing like weirdos, like little freaks in so many movies.
He
What
is
an
a little
interesting
freak.
career, yeah,
Like-
that he's had.
He is fascinating. Like whenever he shows up in a movie, I'm always like, yeah, this is gonna be interesting at least. And then he directed like a short horror film for like the VHS series.
You know what?
Justin
I
Long.
liked-
Justin Long, yeah, he did.
You
The,
know, I gotta
like,
say, like,
Mm.
he is in a movie I kind of like, even though everybody hates it, and it's Tusk. I kind of like Tusk.
Tusk,
I know I'm alone on this.
What's wrong with Tusk?
I have a lot of
people
mixed
don't
feelings
like
on
it.
Tusk. I'm mixed
I
on Tusk.
kind of like. I think mainly because it's so weird and it's so
Mm.
much like a film I've never seen before. And for me, if I see a movie that has something I haven't seen or experienced before, even if it's bad, I usually rank it pretty highly.
I
That's
would
kind of my thing there.
I would rather watch Tusk any day of the week than the fucking Human Centipede.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm with you on
Yeah,
that one.
overrated, honestly. Human Centipede's kind of whatever.
Human Centipede's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Once you get over the concept of the Human Centipede, it's
Like-
like okay, I'm just gonna watch these people poop a lot. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there's this gross out, and then there's like nothing. Like now what?
Yeah.
It's just like I just
very
put up
much
with
like-
that grossness for no
Yeah.
reason.
At least
It's
with
very
Tusk,
much like a Sharknado. Like, okay, we've seen the Sharknado. Now what? We've seen the Human Centipede. We get it.
I don't know if I agree with that comparison. Sharknado tries to up the ante of its stupidity with every single moment of that film.
I can't
With-
believe you've seen more than one of them.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
seen all
I
of
actually
them.
respect that. I have not at all.
I've seen all the Sharknadoes. I've seen
I
them
saw
all.
I saw like half of the first one. So good for you.
But like Sharknado's like, and we'll get to Sharknado later because that's actually coming up.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I kind of love it. With the Human Centipede, it's just like it just somehow gets worse with each sequel, and with Tusk, it's so bizarre, and it doesn't seem like it fits in with any real like structure of storytelling. I kind of love that though. Like with Tusk, it's so unhinged and so bizarre.
Yeah, that's why I like it. And I mean, I'm a big fan of body horror.
Mm.
You know, or just weird body like Splice is another one that
Spice.
I like.
But
That people are like, yeah.
did you end up watching the Justin Long VHS segment? Because it's in that same vein as Tusk and Splice.
Oh,
and all that.
Yes, I love VHS.
haven't-
It's so
I haven't
great.
seen any of the VHS movies, but I am interested. At some point, I'll get some.
Well, the concept of this one, it's in VHS Beyond this segment, and Cram, if you've seen VHS Beyond, you probably know the segment where it's like this doggy daycare where the doggy daycare owner takes like dead dog animals and like sews them onto like human beings, Dr. Moreau style, and turns people into like human dog hybrids. It's so unhinged. It's great.
That's you know what? That's the trans femme dream. I think you
There
know.
you go.
in a
Where
lot
you
of
can
ways.
become get your face redone as a muzzle with dog fur.
If I had a nickel for every trans femme friend I have that is weird about the island of Dr. Moreau,
There you
I'd
go.
be fucking rich.
There you go.
Oh my god.
I love the Island of Dr. Moreau. It's a great story, but this is like Dr.
You know, this
Moreau
is-
with like
This
Canadian humor.
is furry abuse, and I will not stand for it. As a proud member of the unclothed animal community, I think it's all very, very upsetting.
People are also mentioning Shao Tucker in the comments.
What?
Shao Tucker
What's Shao Tucker?
from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh, the dog kid, right? Yeah,
the dad who
okay.
like decides
Yeah,
to save on dog care and baby care at the same time.
You know what? It's a good model. The insurance unfortunately didn't cover it, so it turned out a little bad. But you know, I respect the game, the hustle. You know, he just he just didn't want it enough to make a girl dog.
Okay, back to Die Hard. I think it's good that it was, but it should be done. I think it's a great series, but enough is enough.
I should also say that I do have to leave sometime after 7.
What time is it now for you?
5:20.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine.
So I've got like another hour and 40 or something. Yeah.
I think we'll get through this.
Letting you know,
by
I do
then.
have an out.
That's fair. I think we'll be done by then. Alien.
We said that last time too. Yeah.
That's true. Alien. I love the Alien series.
I think that Romulus was a nice, I wouldn't say a return to form, but I did like the direction it's going in. My only complaint is that they were like, oh, we've got to hire young characters because people will care more. And it's like, you see, it's that attitude that pisses me off about so many horror franchises. I think Alien was better because it was older people like in the workforce, and that like I just liked that the cast was, nobody was younger than 30.
Yeah, it feels
also,
like someone feels like older than 50.
That was the 70s though. Like stars were all like people in their 40s and 50s. And movies
but also
in the 70s.
Canon Trans Woman, I think probably one of the first in
it's canon.
Even if it was only confirmed later, still one of the first canon trans women in a major
agreed. Yeah, and I think
franchise.
And I think Aliens are masterpieces of sci-fi. I'm sorry, I cut you off there, Madeline. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I agree with Krim. I didn't like Romulus all that much. That director who did Romulus,
Fede Alvarez.
Yeah, I think he is extremely overrated. I don't think he's a good director.
Really?
And I haven't liked really any of his movies.
You didn't like the Evil Dead remake?
No.
Really?
I didn't like the Evil Dead remake. No, I did not like it.
Huh.
I know that's controversial because I have a lot of Evil Dead friends that are like, the remake is amazing. I'm like, I didn't really like it. No, I think Romulus, it's got too many problems. I don't know, like, if you're gonna have kids, and why like bring back like CGI what's his name and have him be like most of the movie? Like, it's kind of like you're trying to edge your bets on what you're trying to accomplish with it. I don't need any more Alien movies. Alien video games though, yes please, keep making more Alien video games.
Chad is saying that apparently Sigourney Weaver was in her 20s when making the first Alien film.
Yeah, she wasn't that old. Yeah,
I think like she just feels older, I think is what it is. Like, I think like even when she was younger, she felt like she was like in her 40s. I feel like
she's an old soul, like many adults told me when I was a kid.
John Hurt being in his 20s though, I have a hard time believing. I know you're not lying, but like I feel like he was born old. Like, John Hurt even in his 20s feels like he's in his 60s. I don't know how to explain it. He just has like an old vibe to him. But like, I love the first 2 Alien films. I love all the Alien movies. Even the bad Alien films I have a soft spot for, if that makes sense. So I could, and I'm really excited for Alien Earth. That series looks like it's gonna be really cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a great series that keeps delivering. I may be in the minority in this one, but
these are not everyone on the stream's opinions.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
I would like more. I want more, but I want something different out of it.
Well,
if that makes sense.
I would agree with that.
I think it's what Alien Earth is doing, because that looks like it's going to be like, the cast looks more like varied in terms of ages. We are getting a sequel to Romulus, but I think like that's going to be more kind of like the Aliens to the previous film's Alien, where it's a little different. Oh, AVP. People are mentioning AVP. I like the first AVP movie. I hate the second one.
The second one is so stupid. It's hard for me to hate it because it is the worst thing ever. But
could you even see the movie?
Know. It's very goofy.
Could you even see what was happening? Because I couldn't. It's so dark half the time.
Well, yeah, I got to make my own movie up.
Yeah,
Shadow
exactly.
Puppets.
Basically. Yeah, Krim, any thoughts on AVP?
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's valid.
I would wait for Netflix. That's where I'm at on the Alien franchise, I think.
I think the 2 versus 1 here will move it up to the top, but I hear what you're saying though there, Adeline.
Okay, it's fine. I don't care. It's on my tier list.
Okay, people are asking, is Spaceballs a part of the Alien films? Yes, Spaceballs is canon to Aliens, totally. Because the ending of Spaceballs at the Space Diner.
It's also canon to Planet of the Apes.
That is also true. Also, according to the comics, it's also canon to Terminator, but it's a whole other discussion there. And RoboCop by extension. And Batman, too, oddly enough. Okay, time for the YA story to return, Twilight.
That's my opinion on it.
Don't you all want to see Twilight coming back with...
No.
I like I never read the books. I like the first Twilight movie. I thought was, for what it was, like a high school like romance film. I thought it was pretty good. The second one is the most boring film I've ever seen in my life. And then after that, they're so like insane. I think they know they're insane, and that's what makes them kind of fun. So yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent. I could go first. If they keep being insane, give me more baby wolf marriages. Give me that.
Here's my issue is that like I was an early fan, like from a young age, probably younger than I should have been, of Anne Rice.
Oh yeah.
And like I was already reading Anne Rice, and then like a bunch of the girls in my class who like, we were trying to bond with each other because like I was kind of a weirdo, but it was a small town, and like we were at that age where it's like, hey, we should probably try to be friends with each other because there's like not that many of us, and like if we're all kind of nerdy and read, then we should try to get along. So all these girls were really into Twilight, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a read. Like I like Interviewing with a Vampire and Queen of the Damned and all that shit. Okay. And I was just like, where's the rest of the fucking plot? Like because like it's building up to this thing happening, and then I'm like, it never happened. Like nothing. Where's the rest of the plot?
And you can tell the movie directors were like really trying with it because they add so much more action to the films that is just not in the books. Because so much of the book's conflict is resolved like off page or like in the most anticlimactic way possible.
There was like it was all solved by a premonition.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the book, don't they just talk it out?
Yes, because they saw a premonition of the battle and everybody died.
Yeah.
So they're like, actually, let's not have that epic fight. And it's like, why did I read these books if you're not going to have an epic vampire fight? What the fuck? You just wasted my time.
Like, at least have the vampires punch each other a little bit.
And again,
look,
I'm coming onto this after, like, again, being an Anne Rice scene. The sex wasn't even that good.
It really wasn't.
It was boring. It was terrible. I fucking hate Mormons.
Look,
tell us what you really think.
I'm gonna say something. Look, I'm gonna say something. I grew up in an environment where I personally was not, I was not inclined or pushed to have anything to do with Twilight. It was very much told to me that if I even interacted with this book, I would be gay, TEH, and going back to it now, I don't know. It's not that bad. I'm not gonna really fight you on too much of this stuff, but I don't know, it's cute.
Okay.
It's not the word. I like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson are good actors.
Right, but let me ask you a question. Would you rather watch Twilight or watch The Lost Boys?
Lost Boys.
Yeah, easy. Not even quite. Didn't even hesitate to think that one.
That'd be a good double feature, I think.
Would it?
No.
I would just watch The Lost Boys and then leave.
Because if you watch The Lost Boys, hey, even throw in Interview with a Vampire, 100%. and then maybe even the Darian Shan fucking movie to give it a little bit of a chance at not being the worst.
Look, we all
not being the worst film in that sitting, and then
look,
we'll talk.
Look, if you had said, for instance, the greatest vampire film of all time, Fright Night, I would have agreed with you.
I do love Fright Night.
But I'm not a huge fan of vampires, minus Fright Night, one of my favorite movies. I
mean,
like werewolves a lot more. I don't care. I'm not gonna fight.
Is Fright Night sexy though? Like I don't recall it.
Yes,
The
the
remake
original
is.
Fright Night is so sexy. Oh my god, I wanted that guy to do so many things to me in Fright Night.
I mean, I would also say this: the original Fright Night's also really gay. Like, there's a lot. There's like this whole like him and his familiar. Like, they have like a real interesting
There's
connection.
a lot going on in Fright Night. It's a great movie.
But the remake is also, for different reasons, very good. My
oh,
spouse,
yeah,
for
the remake's
some
not bad.
my
yeah.
spouse, for some reason, loves the scenes involving David Tennant wearing leather pants. I could never understand why.
Maybe I should give
Really like Doctor
the new
Who.
Fright.
Yeah,
Maybe I
right?
should give Fright Night another watch.
Yeah, exactly.
I watch
Remake's
it
really good
every
too.
Halloween. It's one of my go-tos. I've seen it like 20 times. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah, they're both
so yeah.
solid. I would watch more Fright Night, honestly.
Where's
even
the Fright Night? No, actually, no. The Fright Night 2 was bad, wasn't it? The sequel? I didn't see
I
it.
think the original Fright Night 2 is not terrible. It's just hard to find. Whereas the remake's Fright Night 2 is like, because there is a sequel to
I didn't
the
even know
remake
that.
as well.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh my god.
It was like direct to video, and that should tell you everything you need to know. Like, whereas the second sequel to the original is more like it did come out, but there was like reasons why it couldn't like be widely released. The remake sequel is just like direct to video schlop. All right, there's a bunch of comments here about Twilight. I do want to read. I got some super chats involving Twilight. I want to read out for the group so you can all react to this. Okay, so actually, a couple Godzilla comments too. Adrian Parchman, we needed more Godzilla because of Cougar McDowell. McDowell. Yeah, okay. If Sai were here, she'd have some comments on that one too. Gavin Carrot, thank you for super chat. Godzilla needs more fun movies, IMO. Showa camp and such. Godzilla shouldn't need to be a serious allegory all the time. I agree. Adrian Parchman, Die Hard was a book too. Exactly. Nick Wolf, but Aunt Mary Elizabeth Winstead was as his daughter. Agreed. Die Hard 4 is great for that reason. Nicholas Meisel, 2 bits to the new trans world order.
Thank you. We accept.
Splungus, a new Judge Dredd movie that follows in the style of the last Dredd movie would be sick. I haven't read a lot of Dredd, but I love how it's just Dirty Harry, but an over-the-top satire of the police. Yeah, Dredd is one of those movies that deserves a sequel so badly. That film is fantastic.
I mean, it's basically like a Raid knockoff, but it's a good Raid knockoff, and I support that. It's a good movie.
Love that one. Okay, now the Twilight questions. Adrian Parchman, Jacob, Edward, and ship them together. I'm guessing you mean or what's your name, Bella? But I don't want any of them together.
I think maybe do you pick one of them or do you ship both of them?
I don't ship any of them.
Together.
I don't ship any of them. I think they all are terrible for each other for different reasons.
I mean, we're talking about hot actors, and it's going to be Robert Pattinson. He's hot, so that's me.
I think Bella should end up with Cthulhu, just like she did in that movie Underwater.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. Krim, any opinions on this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, my internet has been. You've been robots for the past 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Any opinions on what one?
Jacob, Edward, or Bella, or ship them all together. Who do you ship with Bella, basically? I
ship Bella with a fucking nap.
Valid.
I think
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like Bella, because I relate to, as a fellow crow's feet aficionado. I love the representation.
All right. Because I'm bored, a Twilight sequel means we have to follow up on the Jacob Nessie thing. Yeah, which was weird then too.
I wish her name was actually Nessie. I think it's Nesme or something.
But
if it was Nessie, then you could have a spin-off where she goes live in the Loch Ness. Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be a great. She turns into a big dinosaur fish.
Yeah, that'd be great. I I think it's worth mentioning Stephanie Meyer's quite frankly creepy behavior towards Robert Pattinson. Yeah, that was creepy. That was really strange.
Go.
So more reason not to like Twilight. Luval the Great. Oh, how you say it? Thank you for the chat. I went to art school in the late 2000s. I knew a girl who got bullied by other girls for liking Twilight because it was too girly and mainstream. That's sad. They shouldn't be bullied for that. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, there's nothing that society hates more than something that teen girls like. Mm-hmm. And it's really awful. It's legitimately terrible. Like, people are like, oh, you can like The Expendables, one of the stupidest franchises of all time, but how dare you like Twilight?
Exactly.
You know, like, they both are dumb. Like, what's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gavin Carruth, I think this is in regards to the David Tennant leather pants. If Matt Smith was wearing the leather pants, maybe. Well, that's just called Morbius. Greatest movie of all time. It made $11 billion, which was a big deal for the time. It was so good they put it back in theaters again. You know,
it was, and everybody saw it again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Matt Smith is not an attractive man. I don't know.
His face looks so
I don't know
weird.
who hurt you. I don't know who hurt you to make you think that Matt Smith is attractive, but like, please go outside and meet like an actual man.
Thank you. Oh my god.
A real one,
Graham,
and not
so
one
happy.
that looks like a fucking lizard person. When people are like, who's more attractive, David Tennant or Matt Smith? It's like, David Tennant's fine, but like Matt Smith, like, he looks like a fucking like smoothed over reptile.
Oh
what
my
the
god,
hell is wrong with you? You only
Graham, I
like
thought it
him
was
because
insane.
he's
Thank you.
You only like him because like Moffat writes all of his like little twink characters to be extremely
He
horny
does
for
love his
no
twinks.
reason.
Oh my god,
yeah,
thank god.
like-
I always like Matt Smith is like somebody made a wish on a
He
CPR
doesn't even have fucking eyebrows.
No, his face looks so weird. He looks like he's made of plastic. Thank god. Oh my god. And before you ask, yes, I am just being racist to British people. That is correct.
Hey,
Great
you know
actor,
what?
but-
I'm 1/16 British. I can be. I can
Oh, then
say
I'm
this. I'm allowed.
I'm 1/16 racist towards you.
Okay. Before we get too spicy with this, Nick Wolf, thank you, Super Chat. Never forget the weirdness that is one of the good vampires being a Confederate soldier who was also played by Sokka from the Shyamalan Avatar film. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Beautiful.
That's yeah. Before the Whovians attack us from your controversial anti-British sentiment, there, Krim.
Look, no.
where do we
here's
put?
the thing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, where do we place
Go ahead, I'll
Twilight?
finish my thought. Burn it with fire.
Yeah, I'm with it. Right next to Harry Potter. But as you were.
I just read a comment that wasn't a super chat that was very funny. Anyway.
Oh yeah, David Tennant is Scottish. It feels like all of the goods, like, I mean, like, Matt Smith is fine. He's a good actor. He's not attractive. But
No,
like
he's very
in terms of the new, you know what? I would say in terms of every single person that's played the Doctor, I think Matt is probably at the bottom in terms of attractiveness.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Some of those,
Even the
and some
first
of those
Doctor?
doctors are like 80-year-old men.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Like, even the first Doctor, he has like this sort of like charming, like, fatherly figure about him. Matt Smith looks like he'd be kind of greasy if you touched him.
Wow.
Matt Smith looks like a knockoff Ken doll.
What? I don't know if I follow that logic.
Okay, you know Men in Black,
He looks like a
Yeah.
fake, like, he looks like a mannequin
You
come
know
to
that-
life.
and that scene. I think it was it Men in Black 1 or 2, but like the scene. No, it was 1. Yeah, it was 1 where
wait.
the guy wears the skin suits.
Are you saying that Matt
that's
Smith
what Matt
looks?
Smith looks like.
Are you saying that
Yeah.
Matt Smith looks like Vincent D'Onofrio,
Sure.
Oh god, Men in Black.
the
such a good
actor who
movie.
played the Kingpin in the Daredevil series?
But
Did Matt Smith kill my family? Somebody commented with his ugly face. Yeah, we all died when we saw it. It was really rude.
The comments are like going after you. Okay.
Thank you. Krim is my new BFF because I agree 100%. Matt Smith is so weird looking.
I don't
Okay,
see
but
eye to
can
eye
I-
with y'all, but
Can I say Nukti Gaiwa? Yes. That I could get behind.
Wait,
That is a very beautiful man playing the new Doctor. I'm just saying. I don't
There you
care
go.
if he cries. I like it. I like it when boys cry.
I have never seen a single episode of Doctor Who, and probably not going to start. There's like 5,000 million of them. This is not gonna. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry.
okay, so
They agree with me.
okay. Moving right along, Sharknado.
You're the one invested in it. Whatever you want to do.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
more
care.
for the worst reasons.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Transformers.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, right.
I
Ignoring
I feel
Transformers
like-
1, which feels like its own special
No.
thing.
stop. You didn't let us ignore any other series, so we can't ignore anything.
That's
we can't
valid.
ignore anything.
That changes the whole dynamic. That makes it like top tier
Yeah.
already. Transformers 1's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know why they're still making them.
Well, Transformers 1 was legitimately really good, but it was animated in its own continuity. The live action ones, I don't get why they're still making them. Because aside from Bumblebee, none of them have been good.
I know people like that new, or some people like that new animated one. I have very little connection. I always thought Transformers were kind of, even as a kid, it was like not really the action
Here's my-
figure I wanted. I mean, I guess I like that they transformed, but I think I'd rather have a Power Ranger growing up. I don't know. Like, Transformers is something that's, like, never really been a must-have. But I know a lot of people, it is a must-have, so I don't know. They can do whatever they want with it.
I feel like Bumblebee and Transformers 1 are so good, but like the other movies are just not.
Here's my
Your hot take? Cream, you still there?
take.
Uh,
We're losing Krim. Krim, we're losing you.
Oh, the Whovians got
The Whovians got the
him.
Krim.
They got him.
That's what happens. You badmouth Matt Smith. They come after your internet. Is Krim totally disconnected? Krim's thing is going off. I just can't hear the sound coming out of it.
Krim. Where are you?
Oh yeah, his internet's exploding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's telling him we can't hear him.
I liked Beast Wars, the
Beast
cartoon
Wars is
as a
good.
kid.
Beast Wars.
I remember watching that as a kid. I forget this Transformers talk. Let's bring back bye. Krim just left.
Krim's
No.
gone.
Krim.
All
Okay,
right.
well, Krim will be back, I'm sure.
Krim
we
will
will
return.
he will get his sitch figured out.
Until then, his icon's disappeared.
Until then, his icon is gone. You know what? Forget Transformers. Let's bring back Reboot. Let's make that into a franchise.
Let's say
That's my.
a good series that should wind down to make the middle ground between the two sections.
That's fair.
Now on to How to Train Your Dragon, which is getting a live action movie this year.
And a theme park section in Universal's Epic Universe. I love this franchise. Give me a million of them. I love Toothless. I want a plushie of him and his girlfriend. Yeah,
Agreed.
perfect series.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with How to Train Your Dragon. It's every entry in the trilogy has been fantastic. The live action movie looks great, even though I think it's a little redundant because it's just the original film, but like live action.
I mean, I don't like when they do live action versions of animated films, as I've explained multiple times. It's unnecessary. I think it's a step backwards for a film. I think a film becomes worse when you make it into a live action because you're removing things that it can do, as well. So,
Agreed.
yeah. So whatever.
Yeah, like I think that we can count that as a little separate because it's like That's so disconnected. I don't know. I love the original though. I love the original trilogy. It's fantastic. I think that the live action one, we can take it or leave it. It won't tarnish the original, but it's a great series.
Yeah, no, I think Toothless is adorable, and I love him.
100%. Okay, so I'm going to read a few super chats to see if we can buy time in case Krim returns from the netherworld. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so we can rescue him from the Daleks.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Whatever.
From the Whovians.
From the Whovians.
Okay, so Bite Odera, thank you for super chat. Since I'm French and Scottish, genetically speaking, I'm anti-British. Yeah, it's valid.
Oh yeah, I love that for you.
Yokai Lover 699. This British hate is approved by the Irish. Valid. Tatiana, thank you for super chat.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so happy that the Italians and Irish made up. We actually haven't, but it'll be really fun when we do. I hate you as
when it happens, it'll be fantastic.
Crim's in the chat.
Crim's in chat. What last super chat? What?
Krim saying that his Discord exploded. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll try to get back in time, Krim. Don't worry. Gavin Carrith, thanks for the super chat. I mean, if we're naming shows that could use a revival, Pirates of the Dark Water would be awesome. Valid.
Good arcade game too.
CVDP made the dancing toothless meme. Okay, I think I know that one. But oh wait, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the dancing. I know what you're talking about now. Okay, I drew a brain fart there for a second. All right, while Krim's struggling to get back, let's talk about Krim's least favorite franchise, Star Trek. I know Krim doesn't like Star Trek at all. I mean, he's told me so many times he hates Star Trek. Almost like how
I feel like there's some facetiousness going on here.
Krim hates Star Trek more maybe than he hates Matt Smith. Totally. Take my word for it. Don't ask questions. Though that being said, though, okay. Ooh, Tatiana, thank you for the chat. I just wanna shout out IDW's take on Transformers.
Yay, Krim's back!
Yay, Krim's back! Particularly lost great character moments and world building. Yeah, IDW's Transformers stories are fantastic, I think. Now, Krim, I was just talking about how much you hated Star Trek. Isn't that right?
No, I love Star Trek. Also, have we moved on from Transformers completely?
No,
yes.
You can say anything you want.
I guess yeah.
My opinion is Gundam is better.
Yes, agreed there. Gundam is way better.
So I think we can all say the best Gundam on the count of three because it's probably gonna be the same answer.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
G Gundam.
There
we go.
Thank God. Yes.
There we
Sorry,
go.
I like Gundam Wing. So I'm sorry.
That's
I just that guy was like fucking tore up that birthday
invite.
Fucking kill you, and that did something to me.
That became your personality
Gundam
trait
Wing.
Forevermore.
Not everybody saw Gundam Wing, but those who did are so gay right now.
That was like the first big one people shipped back in America.
Yeah, God, I mean, I think maybe that was the start of my obsession with anime pretty boys. Was probably Gundam Wing. Oh my God,
a lot of people's. That's a lot of people's.
I know this one's unpopular, but I also did like Gundam Seed, despite the controversies with the creator. But we're not the creator, but the art director. But
Witch of Mercury is really good too. That's the really.
Oh, that's the lesbian one. Yeah, I gotta check that one.
Yeah. Which at the last, which the cowards who made it backtracked, oh no, it could be whatever you interpret it as. Maybe they're just good friends.
Maybe I interpret it as what happened.
Come on, that's been a thing with Gundam the whole fuking time.
That's the thing with anime for forever. It's just
listen, here's what happened is that Akira and Ryo just fucked it up for everybody else forever. Devilman just destroyed any hope that anime could ever be heterosexual. So
yeah, sorry straights, you lose.
Okay,
yeah,
so
anime belongs to the gays.
Okay, Star Trek. Yes, Star Trek can just keep making more things. I'm fine.
Give me more.
Even when Star Trek is bad, which it sometimes is very bad, I just want more.
Can I speak my truth?
Speak your truth.
I like Picard.
Yeah, who does? The series or the character or both?
Both.
Yeah, valid.
I mean, my favorite my favorite captain is actually Cisco, but I do like Picard.
Cisco's fantastic. Deep Space Nine in general is really good. It kind of bums me out they didn't do a Deep Space Nine movie. The same way they did like Next Gen and all that.
It's because the actor has problems. Like very much like very much the same as like Christopher Eccleston's departure from Doctor Who. Like very understandable why he had those creative differences. It is a shame. And I think that the character did a lot. Like, at the end of the day, we didn't really have a lot of genre fiction starring black actors at the time, and even now. Like, sure, we have, like, hey, here's, like, a sitcom with black people so that you can see. I mean, like, maybe I'm out of line here, but, like it feels like everything else from that era is like, here's a sitcom about black people and the whole story is that they're black and this is the black experience, rather than and I feel like that's like an issue with gay people too. So if I'm like overstepping, let me know. Like, I'm not black, like I don't know, but I feel like so many times where it's like, hey, minorities, here's something for you. It's a story about how you're a minority and like what it is like being a minority, instead of like, could we see ourselves in the Star Treks and in the Lord of the Rings and in those things that are exciting and take us away from the world, and like we can imagine ourselves doing something other than what we're doing in the here and now. And I think that Cisco as a character did that. And it's not a chance I think a lot of minorities, we don't get very often.
It felt very much like you were just organically woven into the narrative as opposed to being like plugged into as a story about the state of existing, as opposed to just being in a narrative as like a fun little. I think Cisco's a great.
And then you step back and you realize that, like, wait a minute, that was a big deal. Actually, that was like a big fat hairy deal. And I think it's easy because of how. Sorry.
No, go for it. I'm just clearing my throat.
Because of how easily he blended into that setting and how well written he was, you forget that it was like, oh, actually, this is a big deal. Like this probably wasn't an accident that he was cast like this, and we, it's very meaningful. And I don't think we appreciate it for what it is these days.
Well, think about even like right now, whenever like any person of color is cast in these sci-fi shows, you always get all these complaining of the same regular suspects. If we saw Deep Space Nine happen now, it would be seen as radical. But back then, I think the environment was in a position where like people accepted it, even though it was radical. I feel like, although there was controversy, I'm sure it feels like we're so removed from that. And I think because they were airing, I think were they airing Next Gen at the same time as Deep Space Nine? I'm pretty sure, right?
There was a bit of an overlap, yeah.
I feel like that helped smooth the transition into like Deep Space Nine a bit.
I think it was Voy that was running at the same time.
Oh yeah, Voyager too. Yeah, Voyager I like too, but not as much as the other two from the 90s.
I think there was like an episode or two, or a season or two overlap of Deep Space Nine and Next Gen, but I think that for the most part, I don't think they were running at the same time.
That makes sense too. And I feel like they all knew when to end their stories pretty well, which is good. But then, the thing with Star Trek that's so good is you could just keep having stories in that same world, and you're fine. You can do whatever you want there. There's a lot of room for different narratives, which I think is really solid. I think. Someone in chat before did mention the Elon Musk comment in the new Star Trek. Like, one of the greatest scientists since Elon Musk. Like, oh god, that's not aged well.
That is very funny.
Anyway, so I think we're good with Star Trek where it is. But let's talk about the real genre fiction here, the real heavy stuff. Shrek.
Okay, I would say it needs to stop like 10 years ago. If it was 5 years ago, I would say it needs to stop. But then they made the greatest film of all time in Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. So give me more of that. Oh my god.
Who would think that the sequel to Puss in Boots would be that good? Like, that's like
one of the best animated films I've seen in like a long time. I Yeah, I don't know. Like, it totally threw off my equilibrium.
Yeah. I
It's,
think,
like, it's such a good movie. I don't know what else to say.
I think it'll depend on what we see with Shrek 5. Like, the initial trailer, you'll get a sense of, like, oh, this is more Puss in Boots 2. This is good. Or, oh, no, this is more Shrek 3. Oh, God, why? Like, I think that would be the factor.
Both really bad. Yeah.
Here's my issue with Shrek, and the thing with Puss in Boots is it wasn't really like questioning Disney in the way that the earlier Shrek movies did, but just fairy tales in general. But here's my beef.
Yes.
With Shrek.
Speak your truth.
Is that the person that was making all these criticisms about Disney, he was the one that made all of those decisions. That was all him. The whole princesses. Like, you are the one that invented the Disney princess, you idiot. You are the one that smothered all other stories. You were the one that made all of these stereotypes. That's all your fault. And then you have the fucking balls to turn around and make Shrek? Get the fuck out of here. You are the one to blame for all of the worst aspects of Disney. Every criticism I have for Disney is your fault, Jeffrey Katzenberg.
The messages are terrible, and we should not have them. I think that's the lesson here.
Well, Jeffrey Katzenberg also is responsible for, like, almost firing Howard Ashman from Little Mermaid back in the day. Because, part of your world is too slow. It's going to put kids to sleep. I know what to do with this film. Let's cut out all the songs and fire the guy making them. And then sure enough, he didn't, and the movie turned out to be a massive success.
Katzenberg, who maybe never saw an animated film in his life until he took that job, and then even then it's questionable, did not make a lot of great decisions, but hey, when you're the person there, while all the good decisions are being made, people think you did it. When, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, Katzenberg coasted on the success of artists while making the artists' lives hell in the process.
And he was the one that was to blame for all of, like, the corporatization and the capitalization of, like, the imagery into brands. Like, the Disney Princess brand is him, you know?
Yeah. Which I think ruined a lot of the elements of the company that we're still seeing today. Like, it's a very memorable brand, sure, but it's so much of it is his own fault. And then Shrek is like a parody of that, mocking Disney when he made it.
Well, he's not mocking Disney. He just really is angry at
it's mocking Disney.
What I'm saying, but like, no, it's mocking Disney, but it's mocking Disney because he's really angry at what's his name, the producer, the CEO.
Michael
Eisner.
Yeah, like he's making fun of Disney because he hates Michael Eisner. I mean, that's really what Shrek is.
Well, I mean, Lord Farquaad is clearly Michael Eisner. Like, that's clearly designed.
Oh yeah, no, it's all but confirmed. Yeah.
The artists did not like working for Katzenberg. They hated him.
No.
Oh yeah, across the board.
Very angry little man.
Yeah, Katzenberg sucks.
Like, of course he got outed, and then, like, he was like, well, I'm gonna go make my own movie where I'm just gonna rip on Disney and all the people that betrayed me. You dude, like, I'm sorry, Katzenberg, but you're Farquaad. I'm sorry, but, like, you're the one that bears the most resemblance to that in terms of characterization.
Yeah. I mean, say it well about Michael Eisner, there's a lot you can say.
Absolutely.
He's not as terrible as Katzenberg.
Katzenberg, yeah. And I just hate when, like, other artists are like, yeah, Shrek is really sticking it to the man. No, it is not.
He is the man.
Because Jeffrey, he is the man. He fucked up a bunch, and people were like, hey, dude, you kind of fucked up and, like, ruined things. Get out of here. And then the same guy that fucked up a bunch is like, hey, look at all those fuck-ups that happened. I wonder who that's for.
It's clearly Michael Eisner.
Look, if you're looking to blockbuster films to stick it to the man, I've got some bad news for you. It's not gonna happen.
All right,
it's not gonna do what you think.
But that said, though, Shrek 2 was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so
I like Shrek 1. Shrek 1 and 2 were good. 3 and 4 sucked. Puss
Yeah.
in Boots 1 is like just forgettable. Puss in Boots 2, greatest film ever made.
Yeah,
And-
that's,
Yeah.
so I think we should put it in the middle because I feel like it
Yeah.
could go either way. It really can go
Yeah.
in any direction. Let me get a few super chats. Moving on to the Matrix. Let me read these real quick because I have some thoughts there. I'm sure you do too, considering your recent
Never seen them.
Never seen the Matrix? Oh, okay, so it is. Okay, so this one's about G Gundam. Domon, Rain, and Allenby should have been a canon. Agreed. By Chiepio Dara, thank you for super chat. Gundam Seed was great. Iron Brother Orphans. Just Iron Brother Orphans. Yeah, okay. I'll give you an Iron Brother Author. Iron Brother Orphans. I like that one. But Gundam Seed I can't agree with. The guy, thank you for chat. Apologize for the Elon Musk thing, Kurzman. Yeah, right. See. By Chiepio Dara, Cisco, the war criminal. I'll stick with Janeway, but I will say Kira Nerys is best second in command. But what about I'm trying to blank on his name. Oh my god. Xanatos. Fact or fiction? Beard. Next gen. Help me out here. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
I don't look. I've seen like a handful of Star Treks, and I believe Krim is having more internet problems, which is why he is not
It's gonna drive me
raining
crazy.
down. I assume justice.
It's gonna drive me crazy. What's his name?
Which one?
Next gen. Beard.
Oh,
Riker. Riker.
the-
There we go. It's Riker. That's what I'm thinking of.
oh yeah, the solve a mystery.
Yeah. Believe it or not, fact or fiction. It's
Jonathan,
false. Pulled your leg. It's a fabrication. By Chiepio Dara, last 2 seasons of Next Generation at the same time as season 1 of Deep Space Nine. Okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Proto-Morphid. I'm late and misread Nightmare on Elm Street icon as Adventures in Babysitting. That is a lovely deep cut, and I love it.
Great franchise.
Love Adventures in Babysitting. Well, it's a single movie, I'm
Well-
pretty sure, right? You're back.
Well, they have a remake that I heard's pretty bad.
Oh, there was?
Yeah, and it's like a Disney movie. I think it was in the Big Joel, like every.
Oh,
decom.
there we go. Oh,
Yeah.
God, that was a fun
How's
video.
my audio, by the way?
Sounds good now. You sound good.
Okay, I had to switch to my phone.
Oh, there we go. EG Studios. I knew what they were doing when they named Farquad. That's fair. Zypher 8677. I long for a return to the Eisner era of Disney.
No, you don't. No, you don't. We had that, and it wasn't good. We had
That's
to return
a-
to Eisner, and it sucked.
That's a whole discussion there. Okay, so The Matrix. I think the-
Tentatively hopeful with the new ones.
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but like
I am very curious to see what Drew Goddard does with it. Because that is an interesting name to attach to another Matrix film.
I will be seeing it in theaters.
oh yeah, 100%. Like that's the thing. You make a new Matrix movie, I'm there. Matrix 4, I have a soft spot for. I think the Matrix 4 did a lot of interesting stuff.
Mhm.
But I also think that it's interesting in how chaotic it is. It's doing a lot that other franchises just don't do. And it's being very meta and very self-reflective.
Yeah,
which-
the what?
Mhm.
I was gonna yeah, I think Matrix 4 it's for me because I think all the sequels are pretty terrible. But
Yeah.
Matrix 4, I think its saving grace is that it hates itself for existing, and at least in the first half, it's like really angry that it's a movie and that it's real, and that made it kind of interesting. You don't really get to see stuff like that in a blockbuster film. Just a movie saying like, "Why is this happening? Why?" Just like raging against the light, which I think is pretty funny. Unfortunately, the remainder second half is just another boring, bad Matrix sequel. But I do at least like that it seems to be very suicidal, which is kind of interesting of a film. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
It felt like it was trying to be the last Matrix film anyone would ever make, and I kind of respect how bold that is. But at the same time, I'm very curious about Matrix 5. I think it's interesting, and the thing is, I'm a sucker for cyberpunk, and like you tell me a mainstream cyberpunk series, I'll be there opening day. Krim, any thoughts?
I think for me, the thing that frustrates me the most with Matrix is less the movies themselves and more the interpretation of them. I think people like apply a Doyleist lens to the Matrix far too much, and I think it makes trying to engage with Matrix as a film, as a piece of art, as a cultural touchstone, extremely frustrating. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're a Matrix fan and if you like get into hot debates about the Matrix and what it all means, you're insufferable, and I don't like you.
Krim, you just going to start fights with everyone today.
You know what, Krim? Slightly related to what you're talking about, I may or may not have finished the first draft of my video essay about exactly what you're talking about.
But your brain is so wrinkly. There's so many dips and curves in your brain. It's so big. I'm very excited for that. Because you've kind of done
thank you. I was like, wait, where's this going?
No, Krim just wants to eat your brains. Is what he's saying.
No, that's flattering. Thank you.
I think that like people are either on one end being like, oh, but did he ever escape the Matrix? Like yada yada yada. But then you get people on the complete opposite side of the discussion that is like, see. Neo doesn't have any body hair, so he's a trans woman in early transition, and I'm just like, oh, he's literally just Asian, and you're being racist, but okay.
But yeah, I think a lot of cis Italian women would like to have a word with that analysis.
Yeah, it's like you either get one or the other, where it's just like you're reading too much into the metaphor. Like it's not a one-to-one. It was never meant to be a one-to-one. The other side of the conversation, it doesn't matter if Neo literally escapes the Matrix or not, he's still part of a system. And that's what the movie is about. It is about your role in a system. What that means and what you can do about it and what it means to be free while still being part of a system.
Yeah, and I think what's you hit it right on the head, Krim, because I think that the problem with a lot of Matrix analysis is the same problem with like a lot of analysis of very popular franchises and media that have very dedicated fan bases, is that there's this desire for everything to be like one-to-one, or this desire for everything to be a binary answer of like, this is what this means, this is what that means, when in reality that's just generally not true for art. Like, most people are like using the term allegory and symbol wrong when they're using those terms, because they themselves aren't doing one-to-one. They are ignoring things, whether purposefully or not, in order to fit this analogy that they really, really want to happen. And that's why I think like my video kind of focuses in on the trans allegory that a lot of people think about the Matrix, which I have problems with, but it's more about other things. It's more about this kind of bigger picture. And I feel like there's this need to be like completely morally correct in our analysis of things. And therefore that proves that the thing I like is also morally correct and good, and my opinion of this is also morally correct and good. And I think that leads to really bad ideology. And I think it takes us away from people that, like, I think the Chuds are just as equal with their interpretations of the Matrix as progressives. I really do. And I think there's a lot more connection between them than they want to believe. And I think maybe just that thought scares a lot of people.
Can I have a hot take about the Matrix? you want to hear my hot take for The
okay,
Matrix?
Yeah, sure.
I think the Ghost in the Shell was better. The Matrix
I don't think that's that hard of a take.
No, it's not at all. But like a lot of the Matrix is very derivative of other media. Like it's very derivative of John Woo Kung Fu. It's very derivative of the cyberpunk movement. What works, I think, is how these elements come together.
Like I don't think it's derivative necessarily. I think it's a love letter.
And that's fair, but isn't
like,
that
you're saying you say derivative as if it's not like as if it's hiding its origins.
Oh no, it's wearing it on its sleeve. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I would say it's a love letter to those films.
No, I even say this. I call in my video essay that I'm writing, I called the Wachowskis the trans Quentin Tarantino, because they do have a lot of similar ethos when it comes to borrowing from other sources. They're just doing very completely different things with them. I think what The Matrix does is, if it's not original, it's at least no one ever made those ideas quite as entertaining to such a mass audience like The Matrix did. And I think that itself is pretty incredible. One of my big problems, I just think the imagination stops after the first Matrix. I think the first Matrix has a lot of potential that it opens up, that the sequels just put very strict rules on, and I really did not like that. And I think that's a big problem with the franchise.
I will say this too.
What did you think about...
Sorry.
What did you think about the Animatrix, though? Because I think that did...
fantastic. Love the Animatrix.
That did
things... Okay, so, like, you know how, like, all of the kind of energy and like exciting things got sucked out of the last few movies? That's not a problem with Animatrix. It like Animatrix takes the concept of the Matrix and just explores it in the way that I think we all wanted it to be explored. And it's not lashed down to the plot of the Matrix and the story of Neo. So like it can take like bigger risks and do more interesting things, and it does. The Animatrix is great.
And I think that's really interesting. Like, I didn't see the Animatrix, and I don't talk about it in my video because I'm not talking about any of the supplementary material. But I think it's interesting that those ideas that seem to be good are relegated to supplementary material, as in they are not the focus of what, like, the main franchise is. And I think that is kind of relevant to where either the Wachowski sisters or the producers or both want this series to go. And I think a lot of these decisions that are made are pretty unfortunate. And we got to...
I just like how the fact that the Matrix MMORPG is canon to the films, and that the fourth film
that's
acknowledges the canon to it.
Like, the thing is that all of the Matrix video games are like that. They are not just they are not actually, like, they're treated as supplementary materials, but they're not. They're extremely relevant plot points. Like, and it's basically doing the same fucking shit that Kingdom Hearts does, where it's like, well, like, 1, 2, and 3, those are the 3 main games, but like actually you're missing huge parts of the plot and context if you don't play the other non-numbered games. It's the same fucking thing with Matrix.
Well, I mean, look at Matrix 2. Like, the entire plot starts because of a segment from the Animatrix. One of the key, like, side characters first appears in the Animatrix. So it's like this movie is like directly relevant to the plot, like with Kingdom Hearts. And I will say this about the Wachowskis. Even if I think a lot of their science fiction ideas are like a little too... I don't think they always bring it all together, but I respect how their hearts are in what they make. Like, the energy levels might be different.
No one would ever argue otherwise. They absolutely make the films that they want to make. Unfortunately, a lot of times that film is Jupiter Ascending, and I don't know what to do with that.
Exactly. Like, even if the film's bad, they at least care about what they're working on deeply, whereas other directors who make science fiction, they don't have that same empathy or interest in the narrative, even though it's like they really go into it entirely.
I will say this as well. For as much as I don't think that it works well as a direct metaphor for being trans, I think that you will I think that you would be. I think you would be very challenged to find a group of people, like an individual that is able to tell the story of a person that occupies a certain place in a system that's comfortable but doesn't quite feel right filling that role. And like they could live out like a pretty okay life and never feel like themselves, never being challenged, always being just kind of okay, but never really becoming themselves. And then the moment they do become themselves, like entire world changes. And like I would say that you would probably not find a group of people that can tell that story better than trans women.
I'm not even arguing against that. I just think that a lot of people can relate to that feeling. You know, like it is.
Okay,
it is.
I'm gonna put my foot down in this discussion just so we can move on to the other films.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Where are we putting The Matrix? Let's put it in somewhere. Maybe great thing that should slow down. I'll wait for Netflix. Great series keeps delivering. What do you want to put?
Wait. I'm gonna wait to see what the review scores of that Drew Goddard film are, because I am kind of curious about it.
Yeah, I think
I do. Yeah, I definitely am seeing it in theaters, but I realize that I'm
100%. So since we're all excited to see it, let's put it on Great Series Keeps Delivering.
Excited might be a little strong, but sure.
Let's do a few rapid fire things to get some of the small fry out of the way, because we're unlimited amount of time. Let's knock off a bunch of small fries here, and just focus on the ones I think are the biggest discussion focuses. So, do any of us care about Fast and Furious?
No.
Best amazing franchise. I will see every film in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of the same boat I'm at. So, Great Series Keeps Delivering. Men in Black.
No.
I love Men in Black. I want more.
I love it. I love Men in Black, but
The first one is good, but the others are so. And I mean, I love Barry Sonnenfeld. He's one of my favorite directors. But God, whatever you want to do. Those sequels are bad.
I'll put.
I want to see something different done with it. I'd like to see. I like that world, and like,
Yeah.
if
I'm
somebody
with
was
you
like, "Hey, here's my take
I
on the
agree.
Men in Black. It's a little bit different than what you've seen before," I would be like, show it, give it to me.
Agreed, 100%. I want to see them get really creative with it. I feel like a lot of the film's been very cookie cutter. I like the time travel one to an extent, but I just wish they do more stuff like that.
That one hurt my feelings.
It did. It was
Aw.
upsetting. I loved it though.
The end.
Oh yeah, it was heartbreaking. Jason Bourne. Do you have any strong feelings about this franchise?
No.
Yeah,
It's the
do I.
same with
strong
like,
feelings.
who cares? It's like 007. It's like there's a million other things doing the same thing.
All right, Ice Age. Anyone? Do you care about this one?
Why
No.
they
No.
making these?
Yeah, they fell
They're
off
all
hard.
bad.
Yeah, really. Why
They're
are
all
still
bad.
bad?
I don't like them. I think they're all bad.
Underworld.
Sure.
Yeah. They fell
I'm taking my werewolves
they
where I
still
can get them.
Are they still making those?
No, they're not.
No.
Not in a
But
while.
I will probably see it on Netflix, yes, when it comes out. Because I think I've seen all of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock off the small players before we can focus on the ones that are the most fun to talk about here. Ocean's 11. Definitely, I like.
Why
Ocean's
are they
11.
making these?
I don't know,
They're
they-
fine, but
I
like,
mean, these are like
why are there
movies that don't need
sequels?
to be franchises. Just make a heist
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Burn it with
if
fire.
we can come up with more funny subtitles like Squeakquel and Chipwreck, then I'm all for it.
TMNT.
Sure. I never
for
had
that.
any problems with TMNT. That's fine.
I like TMNT in general.
I'm
That's
a-
pretty cool.
I liked the 2003 version, and I haven't.
Oh,
really
yeah, I remember
found
that.
That was
anything
really
that
good.
scratched the same itch. Nothing
Video
else
games
has
are
scratched the
fun.
same.
No. Cars.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably
Whatever.
good.
Why? Finding Nemo. Same thing as Cars.
That's a franchise?
I'll wait for Netflix.
If Netflix.
Like they have
Okay.
the first one. Is
I mean,
Finding Nemo 1 and 2, and then is Finding Dory also Finding Nemo 2? I don't remember.
Finding Dory is Finding Nemo
It
too,
is
so it's just
Finding-
2 films. I don't know if that even counts as like
Yeah.
a franchise.
No, Nemo's one of my favorite films of all time. Dory is
Mediocre. Very mediocre.
Mediocre.
I'm very autistic about fish, as you guys will find out in summer.
and that movie is about an autistic fish, so it
There you
all
go.
kind of works
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
All right, next two, I'm gonna go rapid fire here. Madagascar. Do we care about that?
No.
No.
Why
Yeah.
are they making these?
And Despicable Me, which is the
Burn
You know
it
what?
with
You know what? You know what?
salt.
Stop!
Fucking
Stop!
butt plugs!
Stop!
Fire?
I like those minions. Those minions are cute. I like those minions. Go fight me.
Okay,
I like
burn
them.
Madeline
They're
with
cute.
with fire.
Yeah.
too,
They're the
while you're at
minions.
it.
I like the
Fire.
minions. They're cute. I think they're fun. I like the minions. Shut up.
Okay, I'll move it
You
up.
are
I'll move it up to
so
wait for Netflix.
Thank
You
you.
are so Facebook mom core.
What? Yeah. You say that like it's a bad thing. It is a bad thing. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, we're down to the.
I just want my cottagecore dream with one TV that just plays minions all day.
I love it. All right, so we're down to the last 11 of these franchises. We gotta get done before Madeline has to leave. So we have 40 minutes left to get through 11 film series.
I mean, we don't have to end right at 7, but I do have some place that I need to go to at 8 that I should get ready for at the very least.
Valid. Okay, so Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar.
No, whatever.
Yeah,
They're
right?
all
Like,
bad. They're all bad movies, right?
With
Am I
fire.
Yeah,
insane?
I have no feelings about this one whatsoever.
I find them extremely offensive for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with you
agree
on
with
that
that.
one. Friday the 13th.
All bad. They're all bad movies, even the first one. I hate the series. Jason Lives was kind of funny, but other than that, I cannot stand these movies.
I liked the first one.
I like the second one a lot. I love the second Friday the 13th movie. You got some
I hate them all. I think they're
Italian
boring.
giallo imitated kills in that. I love part 4. I love part
The kills
6.
suck. I think the kills are terrible. I think they're not fun. I don't get the appeal at
In
all.
the whole franchise or just the specific films?
in the whole franchise.
Okay, so you're going to tell me that having a person have their face shoved through the wall of a moving vehicle as like Alice Cooper's playing isn't kind of fun, or a person who like gets angry at losing a paintball game and is throwing a temper tantrum, bumping into Jason, who then rips his arm off.
Which one is that one?
It's part 6. Throws
part
his face
6.
into a tree, and the blood stamps off on like a smiley face engraved on the tree. Isn't like kind of great?
Well, I think the first few are boring when it comes to the kills. I think there are a couple more exciting ones in later sequels, but those are also just unwatchable movies.
But like
no,
one
anyone
two
who
has
has
the
horror films
spear in
better
the
kill.
bed where it stabs the two. It's like an imitation of the same kill from Bay of Blood, the Mario not Mario Bava. Is it Mario Bava? Might be Mario Bava. Where
You know what?
the killer impales the two lovers as they're making love with a spear through the bed. So it's a copy from an Italian giallo film, which is great. But it's so goofy. I can't. Even though I think these movies are dumb, I can't not love Friday the 13th.
I just don't think they're very fun. I just don't think they're fun. I think they're just boring. I'm not into them.
You know
Yeah.
what Friday the 13th makes me want?
What?
Was lasagna, spaghetti. Yum.
Like
I don't
Garfield.
know. Watching gore makes me want pasta.
You know what, Krim?
Yeah.
I respect that.
Marinara sauce. Yeah.
I'll put Friday the 13th on a Dashcon and see what happens.
I definitely won't kill
Yeah.
everybody.
Jason Voorhees hates Mondays.
Well, Jason Voorhees is just a guy. He's just chilling in his like camping.
In his water prison, he's just hanging out in his little
Yeah.
water house underwater, and people just keep bothering him.
Also, New Jersey.
I would eat spaghetti with Jason, like
Right?
from Lady of the Tramp, like that moment would.
Also, I love of all of the remade like slasher franchises, I think its remake is pretty good. I like the remake
No,
of
it's
Friday
not.
the 13th.
No, that remake sucks.
What? It's
terrible
it's
movies.
great. You get
No,
freaking like what's his name?
disagree.
Sam Winchester hunting after Jason. You get like a bunch of like you get fast Jason. You got like, oh, how's he go from end to end of the campsite so quickly? Oh, it's underground tunnels, and he has like a system of bells that tells him where everyone is. I love that movie. I think it's great. It's so much fun.
All right, well, I'll agree to this. I don't care. I
That's
agree to
valid.
disagree.
All
I
right.
think they're not fun. They're
All
boring.
right, Krim, any opinions on Jason aside from thinking of ways to Lady and the
Foster.
Tramp, Jason Voorhees?
I just really would like a big like a nice ravioli right now.
Valid. The Terminator.
Eh,
I mean,
they fell off.
at some point
really
they got to
fell
get
off.
it right. You know what? If I'm not gonna say no to more of them,
The anime was pretty good, I thought. The recent anime for Terminator was pretty solid, I thought.
I didn't see that one. I heard the show was pretty good. People
Yeah,
seem to like the
Sarah Connor Chronicles. Yeah, that's really good
Yeah.
too. And the first two films are really solid. It's just the movies afterwards got just progressively worse.
I guess I'll get to them, so I'll wait for Netflix. Like, I'll probably watch them, but I'm not in a rush.
Yeah,
That's
like,
fair.
I'll watch any film in the Terminator franchise. I think Dark Fate was a step in the right direction after Genesis, but it wasn't a big enough step, I think.
Sure.
I think Genesis is so bad that it kind of kills my enthusiasm for more films. Like, which is wild to me. I think...
Yeah.
I don't think Dark Fate is better than Sarah Connor Chronicles, but I think Sarah Connor Chronicles is its own thing. I don't think they should have... I think they should have stopped after 2, honestly. Even, like, Sarah Connor Chronicles, as good as it was, I think 2 was the perfect stopping point. And I think that's why some people stop at Terminator 2 so often when they revisit the series. Okay, Mad Max.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Yeah,
I'll see every single Mad Max movie.
Krim, any
Keep
opinions
'em
on that?
coming.
I haven't watched a single Mad Max movie.
What?
They're so good. Krim, you gotta see them.
Krim, just watch
The
Fury
new ones,
Road.
at least. The new ones. The new ones.
I mean, they're all really good. Fury Road is exceptional, I feel. I think also I love The Road Warrior a lot. None of these movies are bad in this series. It's one of those, like, I mean, granted, Beyond Thunderdome is weaker than the other films, but, like, weaker doesn't mean bad. It just means not as good as everything else in the series. So it's, like, kind of hard not to love it.
I mean, really, the only caveat is that Mel Gibson is in the originals.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
other than that, like, go nuts.
Yeah, it's so consistently great. Like, I think it's a great franchise. Road Warrior and Fury Road, my two favorites.
I just am not a fan of the setting, so it kind of turns me off.
That's valid. I really dig the setting, but I also can
I love
understand
it.
that being like... And the setting changes a lot. Like, the first film, it doesn't feel like the rest of the movies. Like, the original Mad Max...
Very different movie, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's society collapsing in the first Mad Max. And then when you get the Road Warrior, it's, like, full-on collapsed. And it feels
Yeah,
like
but that's like... I tend not to like that, though, is the thing.
Are you not into like apocalypse kind of scenarios?
I'm very picky about them. I liked The Last of Us. The game, the series was fine too, but I like the game. Walking Dead was okay, I guess.
That's fair. I feel
I love Apocalypse.
Beyond Horizon or whatever it was, like
Beyond-
that one
yeah,
didn't grab me.
I love
Beyond-
Apocalypse.
yeah, whatever that-
Fallout's one of my favorite. I mean, Fallout New Vegas is perhaps the greatest game ever made. So I love a good Apocalypse. Yeah,
I
I'm
feel like
into
with
it.
I feel like with Mad Max, it feels like it's beyond the level of Apocalypse, even in those films. Like, it feels really like there is any hope you could have had for the world coming back is gone. Like, not just
I don't.
Yeah, it's like there's no chance of vegetation growing back. Like the soil is too. It really feels like a worst case scenario where mankind is struggling to continue to exist.
Yeah, you're basically like continuing to tell me all the reasons I shouldn't watch it and why I wouldn't like it. I don't like the setting.
No, we all got our tastes. Yeah, I'm totally with it.
For me, that's like that kind of unusualness to the world is what draws me in, because I feel like usually with apocalypse stories, there's still like a shred of hope at some level. Like, even with The Walking Dead, they rebuild the world essentially to some extent. With Mad Max, it's like no, there is nothing left. Like, it's basically living in the center of Australia, but the whole world is the center of Australia. Best way of putting it. All right, so Monsterverse, which is different from Godzilla, technically. I really like the Monsterverse.
I do too. Godzilla versus Kong is so funny.
Yeah,
that's one of the most entertaining films I've ever seen.
And even like the most recent one, Godzilla X Kong, it's so fun seeing how they play with that concept. I think it's really cool. Krim, any opinions on this, on the MonsterVerse as opposed to the original?
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. I prefer Godzilla, but yeah, MonsterVerse is fine.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. I think Godzilla is. I think they're both pretty solid. Where did we even put Godzilla? Oh, sorry. Up more movie now, please. There we go. Okay, so DC not counting Batman.
I don't know if you can do that. You can't do that.
So away from Batman, so just Batman's its own thing. The rest of the DC universe, so like Superman,
No.
Wonder Woman, the Flash, technically, Aquaman.
I don't know. I disagree with like excising Batman because I think that because he's one of the, he's part of the Golden Trio. It's hard to divorce it entirely, I guess.
That's true. I think it's easier to divorce the MCU from Spider-Man than Batman from the DC universe.
Yeah, I'm on a completely I am on a flip mindset on DC because it hasn't captured the zeitgeist so completely as the MCU, and because there's so much more interesting failures in the DC. Like I'm down for it. I think I'm okay with more of them.
I think that because DC isn't afraid to reinvent itself all the time, that it's not like dedicated to keeping this consistent like flow. And it's like where something doesn't work, they'll do something different next time. They'll mix it up. And that just makes for a better franchise, I think. And I think that's how comic book based stories should be handled. Like, yes, there might be a Flash and Wonder Woman tie-in in the comics, but they're honestly not that worried about striking a similar tone or being super consistent with one another. And I think that we don't have to think about it too hard. I think that we need to enjoy the stories for what they are, instead of like doing some fucking power scaling equation to like decide who would win against who in a fight. Like,
yes.
Yeah, and I think the big factor also is James Gunn. James Gunn is no longer working for the MCU, but he is working for DC, and the stuff he's worked on so far have been really good. Like, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic.
Yeah.
Like,
even before James Gunn, like, I thought there were some interesting... Like, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I really liked the first Aquaman movie. I thought it was really good.
I think it was a lot of fun.
I know.
So, yeah.
I know that this is not a popular opinion, but I did enjoy Batman versus Superman. I disagree with for a minute.
Really, it's one of those so bad it's good, I think. It is very funny.
I will say this. I liked Shazam a lot. I thought Shazam was a lot of fun.
Shazam is good. The first Shazam I liked quite a bit. I actually did really like that. Yeah.
And even
I think...
Sorry, I cut you off there.
I just think that, like, when it comes to superhero stuff, I think people take them a little too seriously because of the MCU. And I think if you don't take Batman v Superman too seriously, it's a lot more entertaining. Also, I feel like, and this like pissed me off for years, I feel like people greatly misinterpreted the scene where, like, oh, like he doesn't want to hurt Superman because their moms have the same name. And it's like, no, that's not what's going on in that scene. Batman just, like, Bruce completely just has put from his mind that Superman could have a mother because he's not thinking of Superman as a human being, as a person. And realizing that he has a mother kind of makes it hard for him to ignore that, like, hey, I'm trying to kill a human being and that goes against my principles.
I think I got that idea. I think I just didn't like the way it was done. Is my thing.
Yeah, Graham, like, on a purely scientific level, I agree with you. That is not the impression that scene left on me, and I think a lot of people. I think it was, if it was trying to do that, boy, did it fuck up. Trying to be that.
Like, I get what they were going for.
That's why I'm so confused, because, like, that's the impression that I got immediately.
Oh yeah,
I was so confused. Like, I was like, when people started complaining about that, I was like, did we watch the same movie? because that's not the impression that I got at all.
For me,
I
it's
was
like I got the
more
idea.
of the-
I just
mean,
didn't like the execution of
it's
it.
it's very campy too how it's delivered. I think that's also why
Yeah,
it's not
and I
taken
think
seriously.
I think that's the other thing, is that it is campy and it is kind of edgy, but like, it's kind of how superhero stuff has been for a while, and I don't like it. Just because like Bruce Wayne didn't turn to the camera and wink, didn't, like, I don't know, doesn't mean
Well,
that we have to take it
I also
as
think
if it's the
like
next.
I want to push back a little because I understand the argument that you're making. So I want to point out that I'm not making my argument in that sense because I agree with you about campiness and superheroes. For me, that moment did not fit what the rest of the film's tone was doing, to me at least. And I feel like there was a mixture of like what it was trying to do and what it actually did and succeeded at doing. So that's what I'm talking about. Not that any one tone is better or worse than the other, because I agree with you. I just think in that moment and for most of that movie, it's funny because I don't think it knows what it wants to do tonally.
I think my problem with Batman v Superman is that it's paced very weirdly. That's my big issue. It's like the first 2/3 is like a lot of nothing happens, and then the last hours a lot of stuff happens, and like a lot of stuff was cut out of the theatrical cut, and that made it more disorienting to watch. That's like my issues with Batman v Superman are entirely like in the technical way the narrative is relayed to us, as opposed to the what the narrative's doing is great. I think on paper it sounds fantastic. The problem I have with it is that it's just the way it's told. It doesn't effectively communicate what it's trying to do.
I think when it comes down to it, is that the issue with Batman v Superman is that it's a symptom of the growing pains of DC, away from the Dark Knight and away from Man of Steel, and towards something that can stand on its own apart from those movies and apart from the MCU. I think it's trying, and the fact that it tried in that movie excited me more than any Marvel movie has for a very long time.
That's valid.
When it came out, there has been more exciting entries in the Marvel franchise since, but like when it came out, I was like, at least somebody's trying to do something different.
I think also the fact that Civil War came out the same year as Batman v Superman, which I think did a lot of the same things, but I think a little more communicated it in a way that was more clear to the audience. I think so. But again, I also think that we're missing the biggest example of DC, why it's so appealing. DC has one of the greatest superhero films of all time, period. And that's Superman the movie. Like the original one. The beginning of it all with Christopher Reeve.
Okay, yeah.
I think just that alone gives me a lot more leeway, because it's such like that's just not a great superhero movie. It's just a great movie. Like it's just good storytelling, and there are moments in the second film I think that I still come back to. I'm like, this is profoundly moving cinema. Like, I think that DC is a great series. It keeps delivering, and I am excited for the future for it. I'm really excited for Superman. For me, that movie is my for this year. That is the movie I'm most excited for, more so than Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Even like I am hyped for that. Oh yeah, that's coming out too with Oscar Isaac in it.
Like I want to, and I agree with that because I want to kind of stress this because I did notice some of your fans were very angry at me for saying that I hated the MCU and wanted it to stop. And I kind of want to stress that the reason I say that is not because I think you're wrong or whatever for liking it. I think that's great and beautiful. But for me, my problem with the MCU isn't even that it's all superheroes. For me, it's, to me at least, the same film being made over and over and over again. And that might really appeal to you. That might be something that you love about the MCU. But for me, I go crazy if I see the same thing over and over again. My autistic brain cannot handle it. I need something new or I lose my mind. And that's why DC right now is more interesting to me, because even when they suck, they at least suck in a different way than when a Marvel MCU movie sucks, because it always kind of sucks in the same way, because it's always kind of good in the same way too. and that's often by design.
I can appreciate that. I feel like DC towards the end of the. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think that's probably what I liked about Batman v Superman, because to me, I did see Civil War and I didn't like it because it was like, oh my god, like I'm getting so bored. It just seems like the same thing over and over again. It's so it's not faithful to the source material at all in a way that is also getting extremely boring, and it almost feels dishonest the way that it's representing the source material, especially with Civil War. Civil War pissed me off a lot. I'll be frank with you. Like Civil War made me angry with like it reversed the politics of the original comics. And the politics in the original comics were very important, so it kind of annoyed me when I saw Civil War. But when I saw Batman v Superman, I'm like, well, at least they're not fucking like just I don't know. It didn't feel like this massive entity just squishing down on like this history that was really important. It's just like we're trying to do something new and fresh. We're not trying to like establish this, I don't know, whatever the MCU is that just kind of destroys everything that came before it.
See, the thing is that I think was interesting was that I didn't like the Civil War comic all that much. I thought the Civil War movie did an interesting job disseminating the ideas. But I also think
But it didn't disseminate the idea.
Disseminating and changing, I should say. But like, I think this is. I think my key thing with DC is this. I think that rivalry breeds better storytelling. If there's two competing studios that are trying for the market share, they're both going to work harder to make better stories to get the attention of the audience. I think the biggest problem with Marvel was that it was not competing with DC all that much because DC was struggling to find its core audience. I think under James Gunn, DC is going to really move into like central gear, and that's going to force Marvel to up their game as well. I think that DC's success will then be in turn Marvel's success because they'll try to rise to match DC, and that's going to force them to make better stories, force them to come up with cooler ideas, in theory. And I think that, to me, is the most appealing part. The idea of competition really driving creativity in a way that we haven't seen all that much lately.
I'll have to argue with you about Civil War some other time because
we'll fight about that.
I'm actually pretty mad right now, but we'll fight about that some other time.
I gotta say the comments are very opinionated about Civil War now. So
you're kind of it's kind of borderline like going into anti-Semitism and stuff there. Like
wait,
so,
what?
What?
Well, because the original Civil War comics, like it was very much like an allegory for like. It was not hiding the fact that, like, hey, me, Captain America, maybe we shouldn't do that because, like, making people register on a list based on the circumstances of their birth. I've seen that before. It did not go well, and maybe we shouldn't do that. And to turn that into what the movies did, I don't know. It fucking strikes me as, like, nasty to me.
That's a very... I didn't get that read at all from that perspective. I was seeing it more as government oversight, not the... But that's more the mutant registration.
Steve literally says that in the comics. Like, I've seen this before. That's why I'm against this. And Tony Stark was, like, unquestionably not the good guy in that story.
Also, the thing is that I think that the... that was one issue I had with the story, how it was more... The original comic, I thought they made Tony Stark too evil, where it wouldn't make sense. It felt like a little too extreme of a turn, like especially
you say that though.
True. I mean, I see what you're saying, like, but like
well-meaning billionaire who's just trying to do the right thing.
The white thing.
Accidentally trying to do the right thing and ends up just accidentally recreating like the tragedies of the Holocaust. Like,
I mean, yeah, the Phantom Zone.
Tale as old as time.
Not Phantom Zone. The Negative Zone prison was where I got really like, this is really screwed up. Like, that's where it's like, there's no way I can sympathize with Tony Stark or Reed Richards or Hank Pym in this narrative because they are putting their companions who they fought alongside into the negative zone, like literal hell on earth. Krim, we're gonna have another debate on this though. I think this is like a full-blown like multi-hour thing we can like go on for. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I'll have
Actually,
to reread. I'll have to reread Civil War and rewatch the movie.
same.
But, okay,
I
yeah,
will
sure.
prep for that though. That sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'll have to do that another time because that could take over the entire conversation otherwise. Because that's a whole thing.
I haven't read any of these books.
Chat, look forward to Krim and I fighting over Captain America Civil War versus the comic Civil War. I'd be down for that. That'd be fun. I think we should work in reverse for a second. I think Planet of the Apes and Jurassic Park we should end on because there's a lot more to discuss there. Yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought you said that you didn't want any more Planet of the Apes and Jurassic Park.
No.
and I almost
I
cried,
think we should end
yes,
on those
okay.
two because
Yes.
these bottom three, it's like there's something to discuss, but I feel like we'll work in reverse here. Indiana Jones, it's done.
Yeah, that's been done for decades.
It's been done for decades, but like with the most recent one, like it's so done. I feel like this is like, I love Indiana Jones. I think it's an amazing series, but like it's over. Like we're done.
Yeah.
There's no need for anything else.
I need to say though that the new video game is very, very good. So if it's done in theaters, let's make more games because I really enjoyed the new game that came out.
100% agree with that. And video games have been doing Indiana Jones for years already. Uncharted, Tomb Raider. Just bring Indiana Jones to video
Or
games.
even the early like LucasArts, like
we
Indiana
go.
Jones and Search for Atlantis or something like that.
Something like Temple of Atlantis, something like that. That was a good game. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Indiana Jones is fantastic, but it started and it's reached its natural conclusion, and we just can't push it any further.
And literally, Nolan North does like a perfect Harrison
100%.
Ford impression. So we're done. We don't need anything else.
Krim, anything to say? Anything to add to that one? Or you kind of?
Oh,
in
Troy
agreement?
Baker. Sorry, I get mixed up.
Good set of movies. It's been a while since I sat down and watched them, but it's like I don't understand why we need more. So
Yeah.
let Harrison Ford fucking rest, for the love of God. Let him rest.
The most recent one, I feel like Harrison Ford wanted to make that more than anyone else because he wanted to have the epilogue note to his character. And I get that. I think 5 honestly was a good final chapter to the story. Like that's like, but it really feels like they put their foot down at the end and go, okay, this is the end. Here is the final marker. We can't go any further. This is as far as narrative goes, and I think it's really fun. I like the 5th Indiana Jones more than a lot of other people did. I feel.
I haven't seen it yet. I will watch it though.
It's you know what? It's not as good as the original trilogy. I feel, but I think I think it was. You can't look. I think it's better than Temple of Doom. I should specify. I don't like Temple of Doom all that much, but I feel like it's a good like. Okay, this is the end. We're good here. Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, that we've given them so many tries to make a good one. No, we can't.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
The first three I loved.
Same.
Everything else disappointed me.
Yeah,
No,
I have soft
the first one.
for, but that's
Okay,
about it.
the first one is one of my favorite action films.
Agreed.
The second one is like half of a good movie. The third one is nonsense, and I hate it.
I feel
And
like
then it's all bad after that.
I had a huge Pirates of the Caribbean phase when I was a teenager, so I was super into pirates.
Totally valid. Totally valid.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean, the first film. I think the next two, I kind of feel like they almost fell into the same trap that the Matrix trilogy did, where they try to overcomplicate things when they make it a duology. But like, I think
I hate when
worked
people
better.
do that. It's the worst thing. Yeah, I hate when people.
But I think Pirates pulled it better than the Matrix did, personally. That may be
no,
sacrilegious, though.
I can't disagree with that. Like at least Pirates 2 had the Davy Jones, like one of the best CGI characters of all time. Like.
Yeah. And even though the third one is so overcomplicated, I kind of respect just how overblown it is.
Oh no!
Every
time, what's her name? The crab lady talked. I wanted to bang my Cliff. Yeah, every time she talked, I wanted to bang my head against the wall. Cause like, please, every time you open your mouth, there's a new thing I cannot understand and don't care about. Please, I need this to stop.
Sometimes you just don't have to think about it. Sometimes it's just like, hey, this mysterious lady is saying riddles, and she's mysterious and kind of pretty.
Yeah,
you don't have to think about it that hard.
No,
exactly.
Like,
I'm with Krim on that one.
Trust me, I want to do that, but that's the whole movie. I'm just watching somebody say riddles, and I'm like, I could just buy a book that has riddles in it and solve them for myself.
Are you saying that you don't want a pretty woman to like just say mysterious riddles to you for
Hey,
like
look, if I want a
an hour
pretty
and a half?
woman to... Hey, listen to me, Grim. If I want a pretty woman to say riddles to me, I'll say them into a mirror.
But there you go. But Madeline, don't you want a giant woman?
I do. Well, I've always wanted to be a giant woman. A giant woman.
Oh,
Okay, I was gonna like see if I could break into song there, but I'll stop myself. Okay, Pokemon. I'm assuming we mean the Pokemon movies, which come out every year roughly. Though they have slowed down a bit.
Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah, I think they should slow down, but they have been slowing down, which I think is pretty cool.
Where's Detective Pikachu 2?
Yeah, right.
That's what I want.
Right. It was so good. I love Detective Pikachu. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
It
it
means,
should
like,
not have
what-
worked. It should not
the
have worked,
only-
but it was so good.
Yeah,
That's the only live action video game franchise I want more of, because I just want more of like the Pokemon games I played as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were gonna make a sequel, but then they didn't. And then, I mean, I love the Sonic movies, but that's been so successful. Why couldn't Pokemon be the same way? I don't get it. Oh, anyway,
No,
before we get
whatever.
to these last two, because I feel that's where the most conversation we're gonna have for the rest of this thing. Let's read some super chats real quick, because some have been piling up. I'm assuming The Simpsons is on here, right? Right.
That's a TV show.
Simpsons is a show, not really a movie franchise. The guy 493, Aliens versus Predator versus Avatar. Let's go. I can't wait to see the aliens eat the Avatar people, but
Predator is not on here, but that's a good franchise.
It
Prey
is.
was really good.
I'm
that
excited
one,
for
yeah.
Badlands. Badlands is
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Nick Wolf, Fast and Furious, died with Paul Walker. Downhill since. I agree with that. That's fair.
I know. No, big disagree. I still like them.
I still like-
even after Paul Walker. I think they're great.
I still like them, but I feel like that was a good point they could have ended it at.
They go to space though. It's so fun.
That
They
is
go to
true.
space.
That is true. The one and only Phineas. It's crazy that the Godzilla vs. Kong director did Death Note. Yeah, he did do the Death Note live action film.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty
that's
wild.
Wendig, like the type font.
What? No. He made the movie. He made the
That's what I mean,
American
yeah.
live action Death Note film.
No, I know that. That's what I mean. I
Oh,
was
okay.
talking about the same direct. Yeah, because he also did The Guest, I think.
Oh, The Guest was really good. I
Yeah.
like that one. Sir Dingus, thank you for super chat. One of the things I wish DC and the MCU did was adapt things that aren't part of their main comic universe. I'd love a modern Watchmen adaptation, for example. Yeah, I would too, but they got to get the right person for that. Like they got to do it right, or it's not gonna work out.
I would.
Had a
I
lot of
would,
Watchmen though, haven't they? Like,
They did the CG live animation adaptations recently.
mhm.
I would honestly like if they stepped outside of the genre of like superhero action film. What I would love is I would love a sitcom that takes place in the Teen Titans Tower. We see a little bit of fighting, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is the dynamic they have back in the tower. It's basically what if Friends was written better and they were all superheroes.
See, I agree with you on that one. I think it's fantastic if they do that because they should.
But
I watched
that's
that
just an example, by the way. That's just an example, by the way. I would love if they did more things in different genres.
Oh, I think that
Also-
Ms. Marvel was a good example of that.
Yes.
But I feel like that's the fact that is the example we're coming up with, or WandaVision before the final episode, or
Oh.
Agatha all along. Also, I feel more.
Okay, here.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few examples, but not enough of them that are like also a lot of them are TV shows and not movies.
Yeah, I would
I
also
feel-
like I would also like if Bruce Timm, if you're listening to this stream, obviously you are. You love Anthony Gramuglia. You're his biggest fan. Give me more Gods and Monsters. I'm in love with that continuity, and you only made the one movie and the 3 comics, and I love them so much. And I love that that Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are all goths and in a polycule. I think that's beautiful.
Bruce Timm, if you are watching this stream, because I know you love my stuff, what the fuck was with the Killing Joke movie?
Oh my God, yes.
What was with that? That was-
I mean, like, here's the
Is that like a
thing. Here's the
prank?
thing is that, like, well, the thing is that Bruce Timm based his version of Batman more on like the 80s version of the comics, I think. And I think that people have this idea that Barbara Gordon is like Dick Grayson's age, and it's like, no, she's significantly older than him. She's closer in age to Bruce. And it's just, Batman can get kind of weird and messy, and that movie was weird and messy. There's not a lot of things you can do, in my opinion, to save The Killing Joke. There's a lot of problems with it as a comic book, but it was one of the. It is one.
I think it's really good.
I mean, there's problems. There's ableism problems with Barbara Gordon, right? But
yeah, I feel they tried salvaging it outside The Killing Joke. Is the problem.
That's what.
Yeah, but it's outside the comic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was like
I just don't think you can save Barbara Gordon in the Killing Joke. Like, she is the worst. What happens to her is the worst part of that story.
And it's so unnecessary.
But it is like one of the most infamous, probably famous Batman stories. And let's like give us the Killing Joke, and it's like, okay, here you go. And like, I don't know what you guys expected.
And the fact that she has no real role in the story other than being shot is like the big issue.
But that was always the case. And I think that her having a relationship with Batman was trying to give her some agency and weight, and I just don't think it worked.
I think it made it worse, if anything, because you have the whole setup for Barbara Gordon, and then she's like completely just pushed out of the core conflict of the narrative. Like, I feel in some ways it might even be worse. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, but I think they tried to do. How do we salvage this? I don't know. Throw shit at a wall and pick whatever it lands on. And it was pretty shitty indeed.
Seriously. Gavin Carey, thank you for super chat. Bruce Timm, I love you, but please stop making Bruce and Barbara a thing. It doesn't work. I agree with that. I don't like that ship at all.
But that was kind of the point, though, because Bruce and Barbara aren't Endgame in Bruce Timm's continuity.
That's true. Batman's Endgame's his job, so that's his endgame.
But like, Barbara moves on. And Bruce moves on, and like, it was messy, and they don't really talk anymore. Like, that's the end game. Like, they're not together because they're a cute couple. They orbit around each other because they're both fucking weird.
Yeah,
and they don't know what else to do.
The DCAU version of Batman is ultimately a tragedy, I feel like, at the end of the day.
And again, is based on the 80s version, not like the contemporary version. Like, Barbara Gordon and other characters like Starfire and Raven have been getting infantilized and aged down like every few years, and it's like, why are they children now?
Yeah, right.
They were adult women in the original run, so I don't know why they've been doing that.
Yeah, I hear you there. Terminal Sandy, I want to read your super chat, and we'll get on to the last two. I wish Gunn would adapt Arkham Asylum Living Hell into a film. Yeah, that'd be really good. I'd be down for that. Okay, now it's time for the last two. These two franchises I feel are the most interesting because they've had the most back and forth of any of these. Let's start with Planet of the Apes, because I feel like that one we're going to have the same...
More.
I love Planet of the Apes.
More.
It's not hard.
These are so good.
All the way to the top. All the way to the top, baby. Put it all... What are you doing? Put it up there. Get it up there. Put it on up there,
No, the top
Anthony.
is the joke one.
Oh, right. The joke one.
No. We need one. Right here.
Planet of the Apes.
Just M-O-A-R. M-O-A-R.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. If you could, I wish you could insert that picture of Kylo Ren.
Yeah, right? More! I know the exact image you're talking about, too. Yeah, that's right.
Give me monkeys! I love monkeys!
This series is legitimately fantastic. It is...
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it went from... It was a joke franchise for a while. Like...
A very funny joke, to be fair, but you're right.
I think after the original three movies, even after the original movie, it became like a weird, cheap. Like, each film was cheaper, but I like up to 3 or 4.
I loved those.
Yeah,
I think the Planet of the Apes rocks, honestly.
I think the only bad one is 5. I think 5 was the one that's the weakest link. Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
I think the only bad Planet of the Apes movie is Oh, sorry. No, I don't think any of them are. Yeah, I don't think the original 5. I don't think any of them are bad. The only bad Planet of the Apes movie is the Tim Burton one. Even then, I don't think it's that bad.
Even then,
It's
that
at
movie's
least-
interesting.
It's at least
Like,
weird because it's like the worst Tim Burton film because it's like not Tim Burton and it's like,
I don't think it's
wow,
the worst
Tim
Tim
Burton,
Burton
you're
film.
really bad at making an action film like this.
I don't think
Wow.
it's
Oh
the
my
worst
God.
Tim Burton film. I think he's done worse since. But
No, that's what I was gonna say. The worst for like Tim Burton as like not in his style. I think it's bad because it proves that he can't do anything that's not Tim Burton. I mean, his worst film is probably like Dark Shadows.
that's
probably.
pretty bad. That's really bad.
That would be my choice.
But like even that movie, like the acting is the acting choices are interesting. The makeup is incredible. Like it's just so bizarre. But I think that bizarreness has made it kind of like a weird draw to it.
Yeah.
But even
The
then,
thing is that sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say even then, like the new series is just so good. Like
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like,
I love the new series.
it blows everything out of the water. It's some of the greatest science fiction of the last 15 years. And like it's not even a close competition. That's the thing. Like, and even like the new movie that came out, you thought like, oh, Matt Reeves is no longer working on these. Different creative crew. It's now working under Disney. Like even that was like fantastic from like start to
I
finish.
haven't
Like,
seen.
oh, it's so good.
Don't spoil because I've been meaning
Won't say-
to, but I just haven't had the chance to.
Won't
but
say a
I will
thing.
be watching it. I'm so excited.
I am curious what you have to say
But-
about it though when you do see it, because I feel like there's a lot to discuss with it.
If I may,
If you may.
I will, like, I acknowledge it as the worst Planet of the Apes movie ever,
Mm-hmm.
but I will give the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie one thing. It's was my introduction into the series. It made me curious.
Wow.
And it was the first one I saw, and I was like, I want more of this world. That was kind of weird. But there's more movies. I want to see them. And my dad had the box set, and I watched them, and I was like, this fucking slaps. I
Yeah.
love Monkey.
Right? And I love how they destroy the entire world in the second movie. Like, that's so unhinged of an idea. And how do you keep making movies? Oh, well, time travel, of course. Let's make it a clever social satire. And, like, I love how it evolves into itself. Like, it's so clever and so able to reinvent
poignant.
itself. Yeah, oh, yeah.
How poignant the evolutionary part of how the franchise works. And
I
how
hate
poignant.
every ape I see. From chimpanzee to
Oh, there we go.
chimpanzee.
Simpsons came back up into it.
You finally never make a monkey out of me.
There we go. So we got the Simpsons in here somewhere. No, Planet of the Apes
Can I
is
play
amazing.
the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
Okay, yeah. Planet of the Apes is absolutely fantastic. I think it's amazing. But let's talk about Jurassic Park.
I want to believe.
I really do. Like the new
Oh my
movie
God.
looks
I think
so
I'm the
good.
same way. I want there to be I want to believe. Also, my very good friend and sometimes creative partner Chris would be extremely mad at me if I said anything bad about Jurassic Park, a franchise that I like dinosaurs. You know what? That's my autism. I like dinosaurs. Just
Same.
give me more dinosaurs.
I will say this
My-
though,
my-
like from a go for it.
My nickname at work comes from dinosaurs. So yeah.
Aw.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I will say this: the first film is one of the greatest science fiction films ever. But after that, I get a little bit more mixed. I don't love The Lost World. I like it, but I don't love it. I love the ending more than the rest of the film, and I love the big game hunter in that because I think he's just a great, such a great
I like
small
that
arc.
one
inside.
girl does like gymnastics on a velociraptor. It was
That's
pretty
great.
funny. I did enjoy that.
I like Jurassic Park 3 more than Lost World. That might
That
be a
is
controversial
incorrect on every possible level.
Well,
And
because
oh my
I
god,
because I like how goofy it is. Like it's such,
it's so
it's so quick,
bad,
but it's so
so
fast.
bad.
But it's over quicker. In so ways.
I will say I was more into like the Land Before Time than Jurassic
Yes.
Park as a kid.
That's
That's
valid.
a top tier franchise. Bring it back, Land Before Time.
That's-
How do you guys feel about Jurassic World? Because I have another hot take about that movie. That trilogy.
I think they're not as bad as people say they are. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're great.
No, yeah.
But I like that this franchise exists. I like, that's kind of my take on this. I just like that there's Jurassic Parks.
Here's my hot take.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be the same series. I don't think it should be the same continuity. I think it's telling a different story and doing something different.
Yeah.
All right, here's my hot take about...
I think it should be its own thing.
That's valid. Here's my hot take about Jurassic World that may be controversial. I think the second Jurassic World film's the best one because it's the most, unhinged. You have, the end of that movie... your first decision the movie, let's just blow up the island. Let's just have an eruption and kill all the dinosaurs in an eruption. That's interesting to me. It wasn't done at all. It was the total
the dinosaur fight club / slave labor rig was pretty fun.
Oh, and I love how it ends with Freddy Krueger, Freddy Krueger the dinosaur coming in to hunt people in their bedrooms with the Nosferatu claw going over their bed. It's great.
I really just want the movie that Jurassic World 3 promised and didn't give me. I want the dinosaurs are with the people. I want that movie. But
so you want Dinotopia is what you want.
Yes.
Yeah, so do I. I want Dinotopia
great
also.
Books.
Oh, fantastic.
Was the series good? Probably not, right? The TV show?
Decent. I mean, it was low budget dinosaur CG. So if you can get through that, you'll manage.
I want Jurassic World. The dinosaurs have been at least maybe a generation or half a generation incorporated into the population. That's the Jurassic Park sequel that I want to see.
And the new one looks really good because they got it's now Gareth Edwards, I think, the same guy who did the first Godzilla film and Rogue One from Star Wars. It looks very much like a Tomb Raider movie more than anything else. They have more realistic dinosaurs. They have some real grotesque stuff going on. I think that movie looks like it's going to be really good. But and that's the thing.
Yeah,
I have hope. I have hope it's going to get better because the creative crews they have working on it are really solid. The trailer looks really good. I like the cast they got for it. And I think there's a lot of potential in the idea. I just think that the problem with Jurassic Park as a franchise is that it peaked so fast with that first film. The problem is the first film is, and the first book also, they're both so good. And what I really want them to do with Jurassic Park, the one thing I really want to see them do, which they're never going to do because it's too mainstream of a franchise, I want to see them go into hardcore horror. I want to see them, with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you get the guy who directed Orphanage to make the movie. And you can see this, he almost gets into horror.
You want Dino Crisis, the movie.
I do. I want it to be frightening. I want to see, what I want to do, if you ever go on TikTok or YouTube and you look up the actual noise a T-Rex made, and it's that deeply unsettling bird call, crocodile hiss kind of noise. I want to see that. I don't want to see them roar with the big crescendo of music. I want to see someone just in the woods, in the dark, and you're just aware there's a T-Rex slowly coming towards them from behind them, in pure shadow, and all you see is the silhouette. You don't even see the features. You see the hulking, shadowy mass behind them. I want to be scared of dinosaurs. And I think Fallen Kingdom almost did that, which is why I like it so much.
I think if you played less into oh, look at this reptile, and you...
Krim, everything good?
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Yeah, Krim, you good there? I think he just cut out halfway through his statement. Yeah, we just lost you halfway through, Krim. So when you come back, just finish your thought.
I've been silenced.
You're back. You're back.
No,
You're back.
We hear you. Yeah.
I think if I may continue,
go for it.
I think if they played less into the big scaly reptile with the sharp teeth and the creepy eyes, and they did the macrophobia aspect, kind of like what they did in that one movie, fucking the one that they made a franchise of for no reason. It's Cloverfield. If they did that in the woods, and it was like it was focused on like the bigness of dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I do think that's one of the more interesting. Like people say, like, oh, Brontosaurus, the gentle creature. Like, no, it's 5 million feet tall. It's gonna kill.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want? Okay, I'm gonna play this for you right now. Do you know what I want to see them do? I want to see them do this. I want to see them pull something like this.
No, nothing's happening. There it is.
Something terrifying. Like where are we? Right here. Let me just go ahead a little bit. Like this found foot. Like I want to see more like genuine, frightening. Like just kind of like when it gets to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like I want to see more of this kind of level of frightening. Like just a horror story where it's like. Like just this. Like structured like it's a scary movie, like not just with noises and sounds. Sometimes not even getting a good look at the creatures, just that.
Yeah, what do you do in that instance?
Like what do you do? You're in your house and there's just a T-Rex outside your window. What do you do? And it knows where you are. Yeah, that's gonna stop him. Like, okay, we're good, we're safe. It's fine. You're good. Everything's all right now. That's it. That's all you need. Like that's what I'm looking for. Like that level of terror. I want to see that.
Okay, so there's this one movie, and you might understand where I'm coming from quite quickly. There's this one movie, and it's not about dinosaurs, but it's getting the macrophobia thing, where this fisherman, he's a little bit drunk, his boat crashes, and he looks up and he sees the light of a lighthouse. So he feels this like sense of relief. He's like, oh, thank God, I'm back to land. And then the lighthouse turns to look at him with not one lamp but two eyes.
Oh, it's so creepy. I love it though.
Terrifying. It was from the opening sequence of Iron Giant, which is a children's movie.
Yeah.
But terrifying. You look up at this thing that you think is this beacon of hope, this building, and then it looks at you.
Oh.
And it's like, it's so big that like, yeah, T-Rex, scary. It's a predator. It's a hunter. But like a huge dinosaur, like even just like something as large as a whale, it's not hunting you. It's not out to get you. It could kill you just by taking a step in the wrong direction. That's scary to me. Something that can kill you without even intending to. That you're just an ant. Really, like we step on ants by accident all the time, or just without thinking, or like, ew, this thing is on my body. Like, and we're not. There's no malice there.
It just
and like
is.
to think that we could be that to something is so scary.
Well, I always think of the ending of the movie Underwater, where it's like the whole movie is this thrilling sci-fi horror film with Kristen Stewart. And at the very end, you realize the whole time you're at the bottom of the ocean, like the very deepest part of the Mariana Trench, and the end of the movie, it's like these weird creatures living under the water, and there's like she has to get to this main facility to get to the surface again, and she's surrounded by these creatures, almost look like they're cocooned over a bridge, and they're just there. And she's getting through these monsters. Each monster's like the size of a person. And then the cave ceiling that they're holding on to just lifts up, and you realize that all of these things were like ticks on the underside of this gargantuan monster. And that monster is Cthulhu. Like, it's a Cthulhu-looking creature at the bottom of the Mariana Trench that's like so vastly massive that it dwarfs the systems that they, like the facilities entirely. And they have been drilling essentially next to Cthulhu, and it's because the way the depths of the oceans are, they just couldn't see it as it was right next to them the whole time. Like, it's so frightening. Like, it's so genuinely scary. But I mean, it is a little silly. They show too much of the monster, and it does have like the roaring monster effect. But like that initial like dropping of the stomach as you realize,
Yeah, I'm
that's
working on
there.
it.
Right?
I have to redo everything because you screwed it up.
What happened?
Sorry, my roommate just destroyed the internet, so like I'm having to fix it in real time.
It's all good. Okay, so I think we can wrap up right now with Jurassic Park. Where are we putting it?
I feel so conflicted.
Yeah, I don't think there's an easy place for this one because I think we're more interested in
I'll wait for Netflix, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it, but I'm not foaming at the mouth.
I agree there. I think the potential outstrips what we've gotten. You know, like we've gotten less than what we should get. I mean, as much as I want to see an underwater level like nightmare scene, we're not gonna.
Is Spielberg still no? He's not the one at the helm anymore, right? He's at the helm.
He only directed the first two, and then he handed it off to. He's still the producer. Like, he's still involved with some creativity, but not heavily.
Okay. Yeah, but no, he would still be the guy. Mr. Spielberg, who I know is watching this video because he's a really big Anthony Cornelius fan. Can you please? I think that you should. You know that one game? It's called Zoo Tycoon. There was like a dinosaur add-on. Mr. Spielberg, if you could, I know you're watching. Please do a Jurassic Park licensed Zoo Tycoon sort of game, so that I can live my dreams. Listen. I need to finish my pitch.
To Spielberg.
I need you, Mr. Spielberg, who is watching this right now. I need you to make I want to raise baby dinosaurs, and I need it to be in that format. Thank you. I need it to be. I am I am looking down at a zoo, and I am God, and I need to be able to do that. Thank you.
Krim, you are not going to believe this, but that game exists, and it's called Jurassic World Evolution.
Is it the same format as Zoo Tycoon? No?
It's not.
Okay.
It's similar.
Go away.
Zoo making game.
Don't fucking talk to me.
What is the Zoo Tycoon format, even? How is it I never played Zoo Tycoon.
You didn't play Zoo Tycoon?
It's like Sims. It's like Sims, but instead of like creating little houses for people, you're creating little enclosures for animals.
It's like Sim City.
There was like a marine. There was like a marine, like a SeaWorld add-on and a dinosaur add-on. Oh, if there's a dragon add-on, forget about it. And I was crazy about those as a kid. They don't work really well on modern computers. I've gotten them working. They were coded in machine code, just like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you see. So it's a little,
You need to get DOSBox for that?
Yeah. Yeah, but like I know I have gotten them running on my modern machine, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I would love for if Mr. Spielberg is still watching, just make Dinotopia. just make Dinotopia. That's what I want. That's what we all want.
I would also like if Stardew Valley had more dinosaurs as well.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to take Sebastian with me to the dinosaur area. That's all you want for Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
obviously.
I have
or
I
Abigail,
have
depending.
Spielberg,
Or Shane. Or
Spielberg,
Leia.
I know you have a lot of time and a lot of resources for us. Just make dinosaurs real. Make it happen. Ignore all of the themes and morals of your films and make dinosaurs real.
Ignore the message you included in your film about not doing that to make T-Rex
ignore
real.
that. Make the T-Rex real. It would be really cool if you made a T-Rex real.
This is slowly becoming a McElroy bit, so maybe we should just wrap this up.
All right, so so here's your final tier list. The tier list of franchise fatigue. I think we can all agree Harry Potter, Twilight, Alvin and Chipmunks, and Avatar are clearly the ones we're least excited for. And we need more apes, mutants, giant lizards, dragons, Star Trekking, and vacant deserts upon which nothing grows in the soil.
Get freaky with it.
Yes,
I think we've proven to the audience that we are so neurodivergent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you didn't know this already, we all have a lot of autism.
Exactly. And I think the thing also I want to emphasize is that most of these franchises, even if they're lower, does not mean that they're bad. It just means how excited we are to see more of them. Because even a great series should end. Like Indiana Jones is one of my favorite film series of all time. It's done. Stop making them. Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorite films of all time. It's done. The MCU and Spider-Man have some of my favorite films also. But I could like to see different things with them. And I think Disney especially. I think Disney right there could have its own ranking of all of its films. Honestly, I don't know. I think
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that too.
I'd be down for it.
I feel like though, if I said that to the group that we've assembled, if I said, "Oh yeah, who wants to be in a Disney ranking video?" Every single one of them will join us. Like all of them.
I have so many opinions on Disney movies. It's gross. It's gross how opinionated I am.
But this would have to be like an all day stream because it'll go on for like 8 hours of like Disney. Because
I think
24 hours.
I think instead of a tier list, it would be better to do like a tournament.
Yeah, that makes more sense. A tournament fight would be better, like match.
Like March Madness.
Yeah, I'd have to make like a bracket for everything, but that would be fun. I would be down for that. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool actually. But for right now, I think let's read a few super chats that are left over, and then we'll wrap things up because I know
I'm back on my mic. I fixed the internet.
Glorious. Because I know you got places to be, Madeline, and I know Krim would probably you've been streaming all day. Okay, so
I love streaming.
Hell yeah. Nick Wolf watched the classic Apes films last year after having only watched the Andy Serkises. Great time. Would love to see this new trilogy completed. Burton, yeah, I'm with you on that one. And the new trilogy, because it takes place a couple hundred years after the Circus trilogy, I'm really excited to see that world kind of come to fruition and develop on its own. Nick Wolf, Alan. That's a reference to Jurassic Park 3.
Alan.
The guy 493, Tomb Raider. Now there's a franchise that hasn't had a good installment since 2008. I like the games. I like the new games. Those were cool.
Also, I mean, did Tomb Raider have a good movie that I'm not aware of? I think they're all kind of bad. Even the first one, it's fun, but I mean,
the recent one wasn't so bad.
I didn't see that one.
I didn't love it though. It was all right. Like it was very much a generic action film, kind of good, Stabster. Another suggestion for a Dino Zoo game is Prehistoric Kingdom. That's not a bad idea. I've never played that one before. Angels Art and Gaming came here late because tired. But I'm watch the rest of the video tomorrow. Have money. Watch VOD after work. Also, Jurassic Park gave me my dinosaur love. 100% agree with that. Dinosaur love is the best love.
And Land Before Time for me. I will not stop talking about Land Before Time.
And Dinotopia too, I think. Oh, yeah. and Nick Wolf said, Spielberg, build the Torment Nexus. Valid. All right, so if you're on chat, don't go away because we're going to be rating a stream very shortly. Tell them that I sent you there, and I will see you all. And I'll see you all next time. And you have anything to plug, by the way, guys?
Oh yeah, plug my channel, Madeline May. I make video essays. I'm hopefully gonna have that Matrix thing I talked about earlier, out within the next month or so. I do have now a rough draft. It took 90 pages for me to get a 36-page rough draft, but here we are, and I did it. So hopefully that'll come out sooner rather than later. But I also hate to say something and it doesn't happen. So we'll just see what happens.
All right, and Crim, anything you want to plug?
Hi, yeah, Crimson Ender is my YouTube channel. I have a video coming out on Friday, if all things go as planned, knock on wood, about the X-Men, and a interesting interpretation that some people tend to have about them.
Sounds good
and
to
just
me.
kind of going over, the allegory of the X-Men.
I'm always down for that. I love X-Men allegory discussion. All right, everyone. Have a good one, but stick around. We're going to be reading Jazzy Oliver's stream in a few seconds. So take care, everyone.